Yo. What y'all on? What y'all doing? Been in the house. Sori will be in the house later. What's new in your world? Pittsburgh in the house. What's going on, Pittsburgh? And I know Steelers, and they're not from Pittsburgh. You all, everybody. You all, everybody. You. So what's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? Same-ish, different day. Alberta, Canada in the house. What's good, Canada? Canada. My history teacher told me something one time, and I don't know if it's true or not. But is it true that when the settlers, whatever you want to call them, showed up and said, "Hey, what's this over here?" They said, "This is our Canada," which meant little village. But then they interpreted that as Canada, and that's where the term Canada came from. Is that true, or is that just that's just a little one of those urban legends? Alberta. Man, how old is Snoop Dogg right now? This guy Snoop Dogg is still around. Holy moly. Switch accounts. Hold on. Yikes. Biden killed. Larry in the house. What's good, Larry? Larry Holmes. 105 in dog years. Lucky 13. What's up? What's up, Rich Yonkers? Yonkers in the house. Chris in the house. What's good, Chris? What you on, buddy? How you doing? Big Nose Daryl in the house. What's up, Big Nose Daryl? What you doing? What's up, Blastroid? Adam in the house. Hey, Adam, what's the deal, man? Y'all staying with Tua or what? Y'all staying with Tua? Or are you going to go for that? There's another guy. I forgot what his name is, though. Mexico. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you, Miguel. You should check out Ghost and their cover of Sympathy for the Devil. Why is Lennox Lewis so underrated to this day? I don't know, bro. I don't know. He's definitely in the top 10 for like heavyweights for sure. I have no idea why he's always getting slept on, bro. I have no freaking clue. Dad's in the hospital, cirrhosis of the liver. Damn, bro. I don't know. What's good, Goth Mom? Goth Mom in the house. I'm not sure specifically what songs we're gonna do. Sori's kind of in control of those. Yeah, growing dreads. Yeah. Not so much. When I was really thinking about it, back in the day, then I started having kids and having to work a corporate job. And that was not conducive to my goals at the time. But now that, we're full-time YouTubers, I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? Yes, there's a very good chance, wink, wink, for more Leonard Cohen in the very near future, for sure. All right, RD is here. All is well with the world if RD is here, y'all. Catching a stream after a long time. What's up, Arya? That's a crazy name. Arya Isara. That's legit. The British accent made him almost un-American. Yeah, I do think there's probably some American bias there because he beat pretty much... He beat Holyfield, didn't he? Pretty sure he beat Holyfield. Hey, my guy. RJ, listen. Big bro, I need you to get out of retirement. And I need you to do the right thing so that I don't have to make another Justice for All record. Appreciate the super chat, Kool-Aid. Highly recommended. Is that the name of the song? Yeah, so that's why, right? He beat all the American heroes, so the Americans aren't going to give the man his props. He beat Holyfield, Tyson, and Klitschko. What's up, Jordan James? Yeah, see, hating on the bro. He's Jamaican too, isn't he? Jamaicans wreck shop, boy. We dominate. What's up, Bone? Boned Lime. That's an interesting name. What was that message supposed to be for? Oh, the message that I sent you? What did I say? I don't know what I said, bro. Depends. Let me check it. Apparently, a guy here in Florida got arrested today for hiding marijuana, cocaine, and bath salts in a cheeseburger in his car. What's up, Justin? Not my real name. Isara is a reference to the El Vite song and the Celtic name of the region I'm partly from. Love it. Good stuff. Not just saying I recommend the album. My favorite songs on the album, So Long, Mother Earth, and The Ghost and Razor. What? In a cheeseburger? What's up, y'all? Vin in the village. Jedi's in the house. Perez Fuentes in the house. Greetings from Northwest England. Brit heavyweights are the ones to beat now. True, Dan. I'll give it to y'all. Croatia. Mirko Krokop. That's when we, so when me and Sori were going to the hotel for our anniversary, the lady was Croatian. And so I was like, yo, you familiar with Krokop? You know Mirko Krokop, the UFC guy? And she's like, yeah, but he's Bosnian or Serbian. I'm not sure. Hope all's well. Been a fan since your first Iron Maiden reaction. Any chance you can react to Damien by Iced Earth? That is coming very, very soon. My question is, how did he hide all the drugs in a cheeseburger? I have no idea. I'm glad to hear you free from the corporate world. That's my dream. Currently working towards it. Babylon Fall. Haha. You can do it, Dutty Bokman. Greetings from Brazil. Black metal in the house. Hey, Vin, how's it going? It's going smooth, bro. I'm cooling. It's just going smooth. I'm going good, bro. Whatever, homie. It's Chestnut Checkers, homie. 38 special for you clever homies. HOG representing. I don't know what HOG is. Perkinos in the house. I'm doing dished. Big homie Keith. What's good, Keith? Been watching for about 2 years. Love the channel. Much love from North Carolina. Yeah, bro, I miss concerts too, bro. That was a Nipsey line. Very well said. Very well done, Dutchman. Hangover Gang. Oh, okay. HOG, Hangover Gang. Okay, that's good. Super Beast in the house. Hog is Tom McDonald's fan. Okay, shout out to all the Tom McDonald fans in the house. Welcome, welcome. You need to check out more Avantasia. I agree. You never reply to my UK recommendations. Could you do some color scene next time you do UK music? New Jersey wants to know how big is the room you're in. I don't know. It's regular. It's an office. It's my office space. It's where we conduct our business. Plan to take over the world. All that jazz. Corn all the time. Although I've seen Slipknot live more, but Corn is the band that got me in the metal, and I got a friend in the band, so it's got to be Corn. R.I.P. to Dimebag Darrell. For sure. When I woke up at 6, I had a nosebleed. I didn't feel like it then, but I saw the blood. Okay. Behemoth is coming to Dublin in September. Holy moly, I might have to jump on a plane. Yeah. Yeah, an international week. Pearl Jam or Nirvana? I'm going to have to go with Pearl Jam, bro. I got to go with Pearl Jam. Deftones. I'm a fan of Deftones for sure. We spell color with a U. Slipknot, Behemoth, January 2020 was my last concert. How about you, Vin? Slipknot and Behemoth. Yeah, that was our last concert too, with Slipknot and Behemoth. We saw Slipknot, Behemoth, Volbeat. There's another band there too. Oh, Gojira. What am I talking about? Duh, and Devil Driver. Deftones or Tool? I gotta give the edge to Tool because of how important that Lateralis record was. Lateralis, man, was just... It's a historically great record. And it was extremely ambitious as far as what he was trying to do. Yeah, going out with no mask, I agree. I miss those days. Did you like the Doors? I haven't listened to enough Doors to really say I'm a fan of them. You know what I mean? Like, I respect like their place in the culture. I haven't heard enough to say I'm a fan. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to act like I'm, because I know that he's popular, they're popular or whatever. But I definitely respect the hell out of the Doors. What's up, Bradley? What if someone told you prior to starting your channel that one day you'd be friends with Head? I would laugh at them. I think that that's impossible. Yeah, it's insane. It's unbelievable. I still can't believe it. But hey, really good dude, really cool guy. So what can you do? Arch Enemy playing with Behemoth this time around. Wow, that's pretty crazy. If Arch Enemy's playing with Behemoth, I got to find a way to get to that show. Honestly, so Sori and I started a band, and some really cool things could have happened if it wasn't for the Rona. I'll tell you what. I was told this is where the elitists hang out. Well, we've only done one Epica song, and all my close friends in the channel are Nightwish fans, so I got to go with Nightwish. How do you homeschool and keep sane? I don't know, because we've been doing it so long. I mean, my kids have never been to public school, so because we've been doing it so long, it's just, I would go insane if they were going out to go to school. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. Now a lot of people are homeschooling kind of because they have to. It's kind of interesting, kind of funny. Come to Dublin to see the show. I might, man. I'm getting tempted. It would be weird for me to go on an international trip that isn't work related. So that should be interesting. My 11-year-old girl has always been homeschooled. Yeah, man. That's the way to be, especially in 2021, man. Like, not even just Rona, just, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's a lot more efficient, a lot more easy, and we're pretty intentional about um, what we do. Your kids will act different with strangers. What do you mean by that? Different with strangers? Did you see the South Park episode on homeschool kids? No. It's only about 2,000 people, but it was live music. That must have been fun. React to Eeyore by Slipknot. Hopefully COVID's over by then. Inshallah, man. Inshallah. I hope so. When Sori cried at Cornell's Nothing Compares, I watch it all the time. Yeah, man. She's a really sweet girl, bro. Very, very sweet girl. She holds back a lot of her emotions because she doesn't like, being that way on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of hard, like, to let your emotions just fly like that, like, unedited. So sometimes it's really hard for her to but sometimes she does. Any plans concerning higher education with the kids? Yeah, I mean, the thing is right now Dorian and I and Sori are partnering together on this Amazon thing, and we're gonna launch it. We got a business meeting with Amazon next week, so it's a really really good opportunity to become very very lucrative. And so look, if the kids want to go to college, they can go for it. I think everybody pretty much knows my opinion on college and the college system in America, at least. But I think it's going to be a hard sell to get Dorian, who's probably going to be making, I don't know, 6 or 7 figures by the time he's 20 years old. It's going to be a hard sell to tell him to take all that money, go to college, and get a degree. So I don't know. That's up to them. But I mean, they can go for it. Let him go for it. If he wants to do it, I'll support him 100%. He knows that. So it is what it is. I'll shut up now. It's 2:16 here, and I'm yeah. As a Christian, do you have hope of America to revert its abortion laws? Of course, of course, of course, of course, I do. Yeah, I believe that abortion is going to be ended in my lifetime. So, thank you very much, Zombie Holic. Shiba dog raising an arm to greet someone, asking, "How's it going?" I don't know what that means. And my hunts. Sorry to hear that. Oh dear rat. I haven't been to a show. Our higher education system in America is a joke. Yeah, yeah. Mr. Potato Head. Why does everybody keep talking to me about Mr. Potato Head? Am I missing a joke here? Is there some band called Mr. Potato Head all of a sudden? Yeah, I bet not many people come to Wyoming. It's weird. Like, people come to Maine. I mean, the thing is, Maine is like right by Boston, so that's where we saw a lot of our shows. So, Mr. Potato Head has been banned. No way. They did not ban Mr. Potato Head. No, Mr. Potato Head is banned. I gotta check that out. Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head drops the Mister, sort of. Let me see here. Mr. Potato Head. Holy moly. You guys, he banned Mr. Potato Head. All right, let's see what this is, y'all. Hasbro created confusion when it announced that it would drop the Mr. from the brand's name in order to be more inclusive and so all could feel welcome in the Potato Head world. It also said it would sell a new play set this fall with Mr. and Mrs. designations that will let kids create their own type of potato families, including 2 moms or 2 dads. But in a tweet later that afternoon, Hasbro clarified that while the brand is changing, the actual Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head characters will still live on and be sold in stores. In a picture posted on Twitter, the Mr. and Mrs. names are less prominently displayed. Okay, so that's a myth. They did not ban Mr. Potato Head. They did not ban Mr. Potato Head. What do I think of the... they didn't cancel Mr. Potato Head either. I just read it. What do I think of the French Revolution? I think the French Revolution is a demonstration that when people are denied justice long enough, sometimes they get violent. So it would be wise to give the people justice. I'm no Christian and I don't like abortion, but I believe they should have that choice, free will and all. I hear you, oh dear rat. And what I would say is if you believe in free will, then welcome to the pro-life side because, obviously abortion is denial of the free will of the child to live. Mr. Potato Head sounds Irish. Neither had genitalia. That's true. That's true. How's your night going? Night's going good. Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. No, they didn't ban Dr. Seuss or cancel him. They got rid of 6 titles that had racist images in them. That's not canceling. Come on, y'all. Let's be as accurate as we possibly can, huh? So that this hysteria, whittles down. Dr. Seuss obviously had some, racist ideology, but I mean, the guy was around in the 20s? What do you expect? Later, Big Nose Daryl. No, they didn't censor them. They just it was Dr. Seuss's own company that said we're no longer going to publish these 6 books. That's not cancel culture.
Like me?
No.
Live stream with you?
No, you shouldn't.
Why not?
What's on the agenda for tonight? I don't know. We're just chilling. Vin, do you have any idea why the Protestant countries were in the first to legalize abortion and Catholic countries are starting to make abortion legal now? I don't know. I just think that, the more secularized the country gets, then things like that are going to happen. As an Irish, I'm offended. I hope you guys are having a great night. Yeah, about the abortion. Sometimes it has to be done. In my case, I'm not allowed to have more kids, and if it happens, I do have to do it or die. So no choice for me here. Yeah, I mean, in the rare instances where it's the life of the mother, then obviously we're pro-lifers. The issue is life, right? Do you think the Christians will become great again after Protestantism, the new churches, and so on? It's totally fragmented. Yeah, I think we're in the early stages of the church. So, yeah, I think we will. We're just going to have to keep running around the mountain a little bit till we figure it out. The thing with Dr. Seuss is that the owners now are the ones who decide to do it. Correct. It was the owners who decided to do the thing. That's not cancel culture. I mean, let's just calm down on the hysteria. All they did was say there's a couple books that have racist imagery in them, and so we're not going to continue to publish those books. That's not cancel culture. I think that's a reasonable thing to do. And like I said, obviously Mr. Seuss was an avowed racist. Here's one of the pictures of that our friend Mr. Seuss drew, where you can take home a high grade nigger for your woodpile. That was Dr. Seuss, right? So uh, what I think happened was they kind of looked at it. They understood the culture that we're in, and they said we need to get ahead of this thing, because if the left gets to it before we do, we're not going to be able to control the narrative. So it looks to me like they went and took care of the issue themselves so that they could dominate the narrative, so that some kid in his, mother's basement can't get on Twitter and, you know, start a cancel Dr. Seuss thing where the whole damn library will get deleted. So this is not an incident of cancel culture to me. I'm sorry. Are you still going to post videos of live reviews without the entire? Yes, we are. We are. We are. We are. We are. Yeah, Chris, you can go to the forest and pray to God and ask for forgiveness. You can be in your house and you can be in the shower and pray to God and ask for forgiveness. You don't need to go to church for forgiveness. The idea is pretty much like what we do here. Everybody needs community. So the church is just about the community of God, and making sure that people check up on each other and that they come together and sing to God and all the rest of it. The building is really doesn't matter. They could also do what Disney did, put a disclaimer, explain it was normal for its time and it does not reflect the company. Yeah, they could do that. They could do that. Oh dear rat. And that's simplistic for y'all. But what if you were the black kid in that school, and you're the only black one in the class, and then you see Africans portrayed as monkeys, subservient monkeys to white people? So what is that disclaimer going to do? Or what if you're the only black kid in the class and you guys are all reading Huckleberry Finn, and there's old Tom Sawyer talking about nigger Jim this, nigger Jim that, and you're the only black kid in the school? This is one of the reasons, by the way, that I don't send my kids to public school, because those institutions are not for them. So to some people, it's like, oh, come on, what's going on? And to other people, it's a little bit different, right? So for me, I'm not a fan of book banning or book burning. I think that's a very, very dangerous line, because that is actual history. The whole don't tear down a Confederate statue because you're screwing up history is ridiculous to me. But books are the primary means that human beings throughout the ages have been communicating about what history is. So that is a very, very, very sacred line that I'm not a fan of that. So, I want all that stuff on public record. Yeah, I mean, look, if it was uncomfortable for you to hear that in school, I assure you it'd be a lot more uncomfortable for your black friend. But I think books are important, and I think that Dr. Seuss is a very, very important cautionary tale, because um, it gives a real picture to what racism actually looks like. A lot of people think that racism is about like wanting to burn people alive and all the rest of it, when the most racism functions like Dr. Seuss. Nice guy, does a lot of great things in the world. You cannot take away from Dr. Seuss that he's done great things in the world. But he's also done extremely horrible things in the world that most people are not familiar with. And obviously, I wasn't familiar with until, the stuff came out. And then once I saw some of that shit, I was like, holy moly, this guy, I mean, look at this picture, guys. Okay, so Dr. Seuss drew this picture, right? Now this isn't necessarily an anti-black picture, but you see all these Japanese looking people and they're all getting TNT, right? So Washington, Oregon, California, they're all picking up these bricks of TNT, and you see right there where it says waiting for the signal from from home, which is this idea that all Japanese people are plants from the Japanese government who have their bombs ready, and all they're waiting for is a word from home to kill us all. And that type of shit is what justified the internment camps, the concentration camps that, oddly enough, we paid out reparations for those Japanese citizens, and we should have. The grave injustice. Um, so he contributed to putting fellow Americans in concentration camps. I mean, that's a problem. So I don't want any of his stuff canceled or deleted. I want all of the corpus of I want all the Susian corpus there for observation so people can understand where we are and where we need to go. You look like a poor ass version of Timberland. I don't know, bro. I feel like I'm in a little bit more shape than Timberland is. I think. I think I'm in better shape than Timberland, but I'll take it. They referred to him as Nigger Mike. I mean, yeah. I mean that's the culture. That's the mindset. I agree with you. It's kind of ironic. No one was aware of these things until the companies brought us and mentioned that they were banning or revising them. Well, Intramorph, yes and no. I could show you a video from 2017 where people brought this stuff up. So when you say no one, what you really mean is you, right? Dr. Seuss did what was acceptable at the time. If we forget it or remove it, we forget what is wrong in this culture. I agree. That I agree with. I definitely agree with that. Hey Vin, wonder what changed since '92 when Clinton and Gore had that campaign bumper sticker that had the stars and bars on it. Wasn't it a racist symbol back then? Of course it was. But people were more accepting of racists back then. So, I mean, we've made progress. I believe in the supreme as gods and such, but I see the church as a corruption that uses the beliefs in their own and just screwing the religious. Uh, Yeah, I mean, some churches do that, but throughout history, churches have opened hospitals and orphanages and things like that. So I don't want to. And all of us have had bad church experiences and things like that, right? We've all had bad church experiences. So I'm not. I don't want to discount that because there's oftentimes a lot of pain in the room. I just want us to be balanced, right? Like, definitely the church has done a lot of horrible things in the world, but there's a reason that every city in the Union has a St. Mary's or a St. Joseph's Hospital, right? My parents ended up renting the bus to Mike. The guy was extremely fun to be around. He had some funny stories. I bet he did. Yeah, I agree. But there were a lot of people calling it out before me and you found out, right? Was born in Nazi Germany, a German Jew. His stories were his experiences living in those days. Thank you, Michael Boyce. What does that have to do with him contributing to putting Japanese citizens in internment camps? Mother Teresa and AIDS. I don't know about Mother Teresa. What about her? Hi, I love your channel. Love you. I appreciate it. I believe that religion is corrupt, but Christianity is absolute. Yeah, again, it depends on what you mean, you know? Like, there was a Jewish synagogue. There was a Jewish synagogue that you guys remember the migrant caravan in 2018, I think it was, and they were packing up a bunch of food to send to the border because Leviticus says, you know, you shall love the foreigner and the stranger, right? So Again, religion can and has been used negatively in the world, but it also has done a lot of good in the world. Dr. Seuss may be racist, but I'm 100% against historical erasure. If we're going to stop printing his books, at least make them available somehow. Ben, I agree with you. I agree. This is much different. His stories never touched those things. They were for kids. It's hype. No, Michael, that's not true. But I agree. I am not a fan of erasing books because books are how we pass down actual history. A statue in the middle of a town square is not the primary means of passing down history, but books are. So deleting books is extremely problematic, and I'm completely against it. What if the Old Testament becomes the next target for censorship because it was pro-slavery? Well, first of all, Intramorph, if you go to places like Canada or if you go to places like Britain, I can show you places where people have been arrested for reading the Bible in public. But again, that's not what this is about. What this is about is there were images that were extremely hurtful and racist in 6 of his books, so they decided to discontinue printing them. I don't know what else to tell you. Even in the case of statues, they're still art, and I'd rather see them preserved after removal. I know it sounds weird, but I'm for protecting art I disagree with. Well, you go ahead and do that. I'll take that serious. I'll take that seriously. I'm not talking necessarily about you, Ben, but I'll take it seriously when we stand up a Hitler statue and hang a swastika up over a. Let's say there's a German town somewhere in America, and they say, "Look, this Hitler statue and this Nazi flag is about my heritage," and let's see how that works. What do you mean skyrocket in the future? They're selling for $400 on Amazon right now, bro. they're selling for $400 on Amazon right now, not the future. I'm about to buy like 500 Mark Twain books because I know for a fact that Tom Sawyer and his buddy Nigger Jim are about to get banned, and when they do, I'm gonna make a killing. My take on trying to do that to the OT is very simple. The Bible does not go after a specific race of people. Secondly, if you're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, Exodus 21 makes it clear that anyone who kidnaps a man and sells him, the one who kidnaps him and the one found in possession of him, will face the death penalty in Exodus 21. In 1 Timothy 1, slave traders are compared with all manner of evil. So if a person wanted to make that argument, I would gladly open the Bible to them and show them that that's not the case. What pressure are you under, Mr. Boyce? PMRC did not ban music. They didn't have the authority to. They just suggested people stop playing some songs on the radio. Most radio stations on Summer Advisory Board. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I don't. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of discontinuing the publishing of books. I think that is very, very, very a very, very dangerous precedent. Very dangerous precedent. One thing I really don't like is when people hang up their Confederate flag or whatever was when they act because it is in their past. You're not obligated to be proud of something in your past. Yeah, I think people are very, very complicated individuals. I certainly am. And I think it's very easy for us to all of us to misunderstand each other. And that's why, I try to be as accurate as I possibly can. Cam and K, a YouTube channel, just had a debate on Jesus being God. Good watch. Whoa. Send me the link, Rich Yonkers. I'd like to check it out. I'd like to check it out. And who is Cam or K? Uh-oh. Notice of proposed class action settlement. Somebody just got sued, y'all. What are your favorite books? Desiring God by John Piper. Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye is my all-time favorite non-Christian book. You guys won't like the rest of them. You won't like the rest of them. No history this guy has yet. His trolling drives me nuts. Which guy are you talking about? Me? They are erasing by removing the bad parts of history. How do you remove or rename a President Lincoln monument in school for being racist? He freed and stopped it. Well, Lou, Abraham Lincoln was an absolute racist. I mean, that's just a fact. But removing the name from a school does not erase history. Everybody knows who Abraham Lincoln is. Look, there are no schools named after Adolf Hitler in Austria or Germany, but everybody knows who Hitler is, right? We learn history through books, not through statues or school names. Favorite books. The Animorph series when I was a kid. I love that. And like I said, my favorite book is The Message of the Pentateuch by John Sailhammer. And currently I'm reading The Case Against Reality by Hoffman. And that book is another one of those life-changing, like it literally has changed my life in the way that I look at the world. It really, really has. And it has affected how I look at the Bible. So, yeah. Books about UFOs and alien abductions are not good to read late at night before bed. Catcher in the Rye. Your top three favorite bands. Magua, Korn, and probably Pantera. Those are my favorites, probably. Case for Christ, very, very powerful. Right. We know that by books. You don't need a statue, a monument of Hitler, and a monument of a swastika in the public square to know that Hitler did what he did. Guten Nacht. D, appreciate you. I thought Magua was your favorite. Magua's my favorite black metal band, but if you're talking all time, it's got to be Korn. And I got to give my man Dimebag some love. I'm not good at all on guitar. I'm like a 0.5 on guitar. It's just not something that I spent enough time on. There are YouTube clips of Phil Donahue that has rap and rock punk artists talking to Tipper Gore. Nothing much, oh dear rat. I bet I'm more terrible at guitar than you, and I was dedicated. I doubt it. I'm pretty bad on guitar. Yeah, man, Hefner, he's that's my guy. I haven't talked to the homie in a while, but he's actually a really, really good dude in real life. For sure. Do, 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 do. Oh, Mr. Potato Head. Shout out to the homie. Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, man. Jonathan is very, very special. Cancel Dime Flag for the Rebel flag. Nah, man. It's rock and roll. You gotta. I respect people, warts and all. Cemetery Gates, man, was all time song, bro. Sad. I wasn't prepared for that song when we did the review, but it is what it is. I don't know. Sori is a little bit under the weather, so not sure yet. Are you a fan of Ice Nine Kills? I'm not sure. Because I haven't heard much of Ice Nine Kills. I've heard of him, but I haven't heard him at. I don't think I've heard a single song from him. Yeah, she'll be fine. Dr. Seuss books should be in libraries, and children shouldn't be able to check the 6 that have racist images without adult supervisions. Well, Quinn, I think for me, it's you want to get. We were watching a show with the kids. Hey, prostate wiggler. It's kind of a weird name, but thank you for the super check. Like our kids, right? Like we're watching a show and it's a little bit raunchy, and there's teenagers involved, and there's sex and all that. And obviously, we didn't watch the sex scene, but then the guy has sex with this girl, and then an old flame shows up. So now the guy is in this weird situation, right? Because he just had sex with this girl. But now there's this other girl that he's been chasing, and then she shows up, and now he's in this terrible situation, and the two girls are in a terrible situation. I just paused it, and I just said, guys, this is why God says to wait to have sex, because if he would have done that, he wouldn't be in this situation right now, right? So, like, as a parent, do I want them seeing a show with a version of sexuality that's contrary to my values? Not necessarily, unless I, as the parent, can give them some context to interpret what's happening for them. And I think that's why it's the same applies to, Dr. Seuss or whatever, whenever you see racist imagery. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I'll never send my children to public school, because that institution is not for them. And so they're not going to put the proper context around those images to explain who they are. So, yeah, I think it's the parent's job to do that. I don't think that deleting publication of Dr. Seuss books is going to solve the problem. I think the school should say, we're not doing those specific books, but you cannot avoid it. Because as I've been saying, America was founded on racism. Whether it's racism against natives or racism against Africans in the transatlantic slave trade. So it's in the warp and woof of the society. To try to undo all vestiges of racism is impossible in a culture that is baked in with racism. So what you have to do is you have to pick your battles. A General Lee statue? Fuck General Lee. Confederate flag? Fuck the Confederate flag. I don't want that shit in public, and if I can get rid of it, I will. Because we don't need those images in the public square to teach us history. We have history books for that. But when you start going after books, that's a problem. Because books are how we pass on history from one generation to another. And so when people start screwing around with books, you got to be really, 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 really careful about that. And I don't think there's a way to nuance book burning in a way that's going to be good for a society. I don't see that happen. I don't see that happening. I think it's a terrible idea. And I think it's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Suicidal tendencies institutionalized. I have a joke. What do you call master evolution in the military? Major mindfuck. Very, very good, oh dear rat. Cheers from Brazil. Any advice for a Christian that loves black metal? Uh well, I'm a Christian that loves black metal. It depends. Magua and Batushka are my favorite black metal bands, and especially Magua, they're dealing with things like exercises and futilities and things like that are very much in the universe of Christian thought. So I love that. I love that band. The mega ultra satanic stuff, it just depends. It depends. To me, and it's kind of like I do the channel, right? To me, a lot of it is about lyrical content. If the lyrics are, if the lyrics are like over the top glorifying of Satan and things like that, it's just not something I listen to like in my own free time. Not because like I have some conviction against it. It's just not something that I like. Things that like take me places. So like Magua takes me places, Batushka takes me places, So that's kind of where I am with it. What's up, Spectre? Vengeful? I don't know what you mean. What do you think of the future of music? I think the future of music is bright, man. I think you got SoundCloud and things like that, so more and more people are able to put their music out there, and I think what that does is it increases competition. So I think the future of music is actually really, really bright, actually. Vin, with this channel, do you find it difficult to seek out new music on your own, risking spoiling a new song? Yeah. Blastoid, I almost never listen to anything new. So like the new Korn record came out, I haven't listened to that. There's just a lot of things I haven't been able to listen to all the way through for that reason. Yeah. Do you like Nergal even though he's against religion hardcore? I love Nergal, and I'm not. I think there's a big difference between being against God and being against religion. I don't think those are the same thing. Man, you need to watch the movie Blazing Saddles and do a review. Maybe. Who would win in a fight between Tom Hanks and two adolescent female deer? I'm gonna give it to the deer. What's the last real argument you and Sori had? Probably something having to do with the channel. Probably. When we're supposed to record, that type of thing. I don't know. Probably that one. But I'd give it to the deer over Tom Hanks for sure. Katya. Thank you very much, Katya, for the super chat. We appreciate you. No one, they'd cuddle. I agree with you, Vin. A statue in the town square is an icon. Move the problematic ones to a museum as they're part of history. Replace General Lee's statue with one of Trump. Hey, I would take that replacement tomorrow. I would replace every single General Lee statue and gladly put a Trump one up there for sure. Katya, Choking Victim is one of my favorite songs from one of my favorite bands. That band gets slept on a lot. And I love that guy's vocal style. Holy moly. I wish somebody would request that song because I'd love to show it to Sori. She's a weirdo. Lead guitarist from Stryper had brain surgery. Oh, man. Nice. Good. He's doing better. Wait, you support Trump? Did I misunderstand? No, I don't support Trump. Um, but he's a quadrillion times better than General Lee. Holy shit! I'm not a Trump supporter, but he's much better than General Lee. I agree that the books don't need to be deleted, but these books were targeted for young children, and it's obvious young children don't need to read these books without adult supervision. I agree with the adult supervision thing, Quinn, for sure. Do you think he will run in 2024? I'm almost certain he'll run in 2024. What do you think about theodicy? Well, my theodicy is that if you define ultimate good as ultimate comfort for human beings, then it is impossible to mount a coherent theodicy. But if you define good as the glory of God, then the theodicy explains itself. So that's how I'd say it. My best friend and brother and all, but blood supports Trump. There's a lot of people who are good people who support Trump. Look, guys, you have to understand, we're currently in a duopoly where you have two parties that control everything. So the entire country is being held at gunpoint. What are people supposed to do? They're good people that can't in good conscience vote for Bill Clinton. Or Hillary Clinton. There were good people that can't in good conscience vote for Biden. So to demonize everybody that votes for Trump is just crazy, because it's not like there were a plethora of options. What's up, Johnny Melancholy? Johnny Melancholy in the house. What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. That's the meaning of life. That's what I say. How sacred should we be of the prospect of a Trump media corporation and this fake truth situation in the media getting worse? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Hail Satan. What's up? Hail Jesus. We were at a Behemoth concert one time. And, between songs, everybody's like, Hail Satan. And I was like, fuck that. Hail Jesus. Everybody looked at your boy. It was good. And then 2 seconds later, Nergal shouted us out from the stage. So he probably saved our lives. Shout out to the homie Nergal. Well, I'm not even mad at Trump for the Muslim ban, and you guys know I love me some Muslims, because you can't be angry at people for acting out of fear. And it was an obvious, him and a lot of people that he represented were obviously very, very afraid of Muslim people. I think it was the wrong thing to do, but I understand why. I'm not gonna be mad at people for being afraid. I'm trying to understand them, and I understand why they're afraid. So that's where I go with it. I can shred paper. Would love metal. I'm sure he loves metal now. We did a Bible study one time. It was called Mosh Pits in Heaven. I'm pretty certain that Jesus likes it now. No, I don't think they could hurt people because they're afraid. I don't think that's not a permission to do that. What I'm saying is I understand why they would do that. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I understand. And I don't want to create a moral judgment on a person because they're afraid. I'm more along the lines of trying to understand why they're afraid. So that's my thing, is that it's easy to dog these people and say, "Oh, you're terrible," blah blah blah. But I don't know, man. You know, if people were pretty traumatized after 9/11, and the ISIS stuff was going. You guys remember ISIS? Trump, to his credit, he took out ISIS, but these dudes were beheading people on camera, and people were terrified. And so it's in that milieu that Trump stands up and says, "Hey, we got to do something here about these people. We can't let these people in the country, and we got to go over there and kill them." I understand that. I don't think it's right, but I understand it. I understand why people were afraid. Katya, ISIS is basically gone. Yeah, I mean, al-Baghdadi is dead, and he was the leader, and for the most part, they're gone. Well, yeah, I mean, of course I condemn the action. It's a terrible action. I'm just not going to condemn the people. And I have no problem condemning the people if they're doing something that's worthy of condemnation. I just don't think that it's good to condemn people for being fearful. Doesn't mean I should, but you shouldn't use my fear. You know what I mean? I completely agree with you. What do you mean the Taliban are back? The Taliban never left, Katya. What does that have to do with anything? The Taliban and ISIS are not the same group of people. ISIS was a specific group that held to a specific eschatological formulation, and the Taliban are not that. Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, I'm sure they have another leader, just like Al Qaeda has another leader, but these were massively charismatic leaders who had a ton of street cred that you're not going to get another one. You can't make up another Baghdadi or another bin Laden. That's not how it works. Have you ever given any thought to consciousness being one and the same, and that's why consciousness can't be replicated? Yeah, I don't believe that we all share the same consciousness. I do believe that our consciousness derived from a singular point. That's for sure. What do you think of the former ISIS supporters getting denied entrance back into their home countries? I think that I don't have enough information about those decisions to make an accurate decision. I can tell you, I know for a fact that many former ISIS sympathizers and ISIS combatants made deals and are back in their home countries. I can tell you that. But as far as like all of them, these are a case by case issue. So it's way too complex for me to say, whatever. What's the most pressing foreign policy issue now, in your opinion? Afghanistan and Iraq. and our proxy war with Yemen, supporting the Sunni Saudis in their effort to ethnically cleanse the small Shia defenseless groups over there in Yemen. I think those are the top three. We should get the hell out of the Afghanistan and Iraq, and we should impose sanctions on Saudi Arabia for what they're doing to the Yemeni people. That's what we should do. Thanks, Randy. Randy Williamson in the house. How much for you to do a movie review of Blazing Saddles? Send me a message and make me an offer, and then we'll do it if you want it. I don't know how serious you are. Magic in the Bible. I don't know about any magic in the Bible. Toppling Gaddafi and Saddam gave ISIS free reign in the Middle East and North Africa. I agree. I completely agree. The Arab Spring was a horrible operation, and there's nothing anyone could do about it because those are the orders. It was a terrible project, and it had horrible ramifications. And believe you me, folks were making that very clear. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. David saw a witch. No, that wasn't David. That was Saul. Hey, Johnny Stout. 150 missing kids found in Tennessee. Whoa. That is really cool. Finally, some good news. Do you have the link for that, Zombie Holic? Katya, a person jumping into a ship, a space shuttle, and going to the moon, if described by someone 6,000 years ago, would be described in magical language, right? That does not mean that what they saw wasn't true. It also doesn't mean that magic made it happen. Selah. Are there any falls with you guys hanging out with Head from Corn? Yeah, I mean, we talk. I'm a fan of Eastern Orthodox. What's up, Thomas Turbano? C'est la vie. Neil, what's the difference between saying water into wine is magic versus you saying you don't know how Jesus pulled it off? You see what I'm saying? What if he knew things about the physical world that you don't know? See, these are things that we have to think about. Plus, water gets turned into wine anyway, doesn't it? What are your thoughts on the Nephilim? What do you believe they were? I believe that they were the offspring of humans and interdimensional beings. You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land, the common clay of the New West. You know, morons. Yeah, they're all just morons back in the day. Those people invented fire and the wheel. Right, oh dear rat, right. That is so cool. Look at this, y'all. Finally, we got some good news. Finally, we got some good news. What would the discovery of alien life ensue for people that believe in God? I really can't understand that question. To me, it would just, I mean, the Bible talks about extraterrestrial life from the first, like extraterrestrial life from a biblical worldview started before terrestrial life did. So I don't understand why aliens, why would that make anyone question Christianity? I don't understand how that works. How much for you and Sori to react to Blazing Saddles? I will pay for that. I told you, Randy, make us an offer. Send me a message privately. Make us an offer, and then we'll do it. Esoteric Christianity, I'm fine with it as long as I'm fine with it aligns with philosophy and science. I don't know what you mean by that. What if the aliens turn up and they're Scientologists? Would you agree? Oh, okay, that was from Blazing Saddles. Okay. Would you agree that Islam is Arabic imperialism? Damn you, rural juror. You know what you're doing. It is impossible. Early Islam, it's impossible to say that early Islam was not Arab imperialism. It's look, uh, not so much Abu Bakr Siddiq, but obviously Umar ibn al-Khattab. That's his main claim to fame in the Islamic world is how he spread the religion, and it was through the sword and colonialism. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. So, yes, the earliest forms of the Salaf were obviously imperialistic and colonial, and that's why they took part in the transatlantic slave trade. I mean, in the slave trade in a way that was much more focused, and that's why you never really had a massive abolitionist movement against slavery in the Islamic world. That's just a fact. So, do what you can. Can you be pagan and believe in Jesus? Depends. It really depends. Sammy say Mr. Vin. How much would you charge to do a public review of a revolutionary book about Bible contradictions? I don't know. What's the book? 55 Porter? Ooh. For the Empire. Wait, wrong. Gershok, what's good? Oh, you're filming a live stream set tomorrow. Have you been to Israel? Yes. Yes, I have. Oh, here we go. Christianity has pagan roots. It does. Tell me, James. Tell me these pagan roots of Christianity. RJ, bro, me and you have to have a call soon. I find Islam interesting and I love Muslims, but I find it telling that Islam does not have as strong a history of abolition of slavery and servitude as Christianity does. Right, Perk, because if you cannot come out and repudiate slavery in Islam because of the Hadith and Muhammad. It's the same reason that they cannot repudiate the child bride stuff that's happening in Yemen. And that's why I've always said, if you look at Islam as a reversion back to the Old Testament, and a bad reversion at that, then yeah, I hear you. Is this channel Vin and nobody else? No. Sori's a little bit under the weather. Did God command against repetition in prayer just to set apart his people, or does it also annoy him to no end? Well, I think any of these, commandments, it wasn't necessary. He didn't explicitly say, do not do repetitive prayers for the sake of it. He said, because they think by their many words they will be heard. So that's the issue. If you think that putting forth a word salad is going to get God's attention, Jesus is saying that's not the case. A lot of it has to do with your heart. So I'm sorry, guys. Some of you might be upset at this, but the word fuck can count as a prayer, depending on the posture of your heart. So I know that bothers some people, but that's how I look at the text. Jesus and Mary are interesting archetypes. I'm not sure that Mary's an archetype, but continue. In that case, what is the appeal of the NOI? Well, the appeal of the NOI... What's up, Gershok? Buy their shirts. The appeal of the NOI is that it's the only group that's standing up and not selling out. But NOI are not Orthodox Muslims. Orthodox Muslims look at the NOI the way that Christians look at Mormonism. Yeah. You need good clickbait to get God's attention. How good do you think Jesus is at table tennis, aka ping pong? I think he'd crush everybody. Perk coming through with the hard truth. Perk coming through with the hard truth. That was good, Zonia. I'm gonna have to put that down there. Boom. Add to broadcast. You need good clickbait to get God's attention. Subhanallah. That's so bad. So bad. Yeah. I think he would cheat because he has the hands of God. Yeah. He would definitely cheat, bro. It's definitely you'd have to have an infinite handicap to play with this guy. What about Mussolini's doctrine? To be honest with you, little bro, I don't know much about Mussolini's doctrine. I don't really like talking about stuff I'm not familiar with. Biblical clickbait. This man was crucified and died. You won't believe what happened next. Very good, Robbie. Judas would cheat and Jesus would lose. Katya, I don't know who you are, but you're smart as hell. And you're funny. Will Jesus be allowed to participate in water skiing contests if he returns? I think he's going to come up with something really, really much cooler than that. And he's going to return, but he's waiting for you, RJ, to get off of your foolishness. Because if he shows up now, you're not on the team. Supposedly. I play the thumbnail. Do you actually play? I saw the thumbnail. Do you actually play guitar? No, I don't really play guitar. RJ can tell you I don't really play guitar. You said in a Disturbed reaction that you saw them live and you didn't like them because of this motion the lead singer did with his arms. What was it that turned you off? He just did this thing, and I was 17, and I was just like, yo, that's just, ugh. Johnny Melancholy, yes, I'd like to hear the song. Is Islam a peaceful religion? There is enough in the Quran and the Hadith and the Sirah literature to be a peaceful person. There is 2 billion Muslims on the planet. If it was as violent as many people claim it is, none of us would be here right now. Super chat, Johnny Stout, sending love from the Melancholy Man, the Melancholy Mansion. I like that. I like that. I'm a fan of Islam. I love me some Muhammad. You guys know that, but you can be peaceful as a Muslim, but is a religion itself designed to be peaceful? Historically speaking, probably not. Do you have doubt about God's existence, and can you just have hope and a greater purpose without having to follow a bunch of dumb rules and believe a bunch of dumb stories? No, I don't have any doubts about God's existence at all. You can have hope without God, sure, but the question is, what are you rooting it in? And why do you even want purpose in the first place? If this all just came about by random purposeless processes, if the ultimate origin of who we are and where we come from is purposeless, then why do you even have a desire for purpose in the first place? And who determines what a dumb rule is? The only people that say that rules are dumb are people who want to violate them, right? So I'm not sure that question makes a lot of sense to me. In regard to your comment about Islam in the Old Testament, do you then repudiate the genocide, slavery, rape, and infanticide in the name of God in the Old Testament? Well, nobody was genocided in the Old Testament. That's one. Number two, you got the death penalty for rape in the Old Testament. That's two. And three, the slavery in the Old Testament was not the transatlantic type chattel slavery that you see in America and Islam, the Islamic world. That type of slavery was given the death penalty. So, thanks for your question, Jason. Very good question. I agree with you, Vin. Materialism is silly. Do the birds outside have a purpose? Yes. How do you get rid of chest pain? Holy shit, Goth Mom. Go to a doctor. Did you ever have an experience that awakened you to God, or have you always had your faith from a young age? I had a very, very early experience with God. Yes. I know which rules are dumb. I think the need for a purpose is instinctual. Why, Intramorph? If everything came about randomly, why do we have an instinct for purpose? That's even worse. Did you forget the flood of the world? No. I did not forget the flood of the world. The thing I hate about religion in general is the 7 deadly sins, because we wouldn't be human without them. I don't believe that that's true. I don't believe that sin is native to human nature. Yo, Vin, when we getting together, getting another storm corrosion reaction? I don't know. Why do we have a desire to not die even if you believe in God and heaven? There's a lot about instinct we don't know, understand yet. Well, the reason we have a desire to not die is because we were created to live. And The ultimate goal, intramorph, of the Bible is not to get to heaven as some floaty place. The ultimate goal is to live again in the physical universe. Hence the bodily resurrection. Nope. I didn't say that original sin wasn't a thing. Original sin came after we were created, which means that sin is not native to human nature. It is an intruder that Jesus is working to undo. So, there you go. We are, because something happened after we were made good. So we don't need the 7 deadly sins to define what a human being is, because we saw what a human being was prior to sin, and we also have another example of a human being without sin. So we don't need sin to define human nature. But I like sin. Yes, I know you do. You actually love it according to the Bible. But you should repent and live. People say that religion takes your freedom away, when in reality it actually strips you of all sorts of addictions that do take your freedom. I agree with that. That's true. I agree. Without sin, we would be godlike, and that's where we're going, inshallah. And I hope you come, Lou. What's the deal with dinosaurs not being in the Bible? The Bible isn't designed to answer scientific questions. The Bible is designed to answer theological ones. So that's the deal. Listen, I say this all the time. We can't even get Genesis 1:26 down. The 20th century was the bloodiest century in the history of humanity, and it was also one of the greatest leaps we've ever had in technology. And what did all that scientific understanding get us? It made us more efficient at killing one another and denying the humanity of our neighbor. So I think God's like, you know what? How about we just get Genesis 1:26 down, and then we can talk about protoplasm and mitochondria later. We all lust, have gluttony. We all experience wrath and pride and sloth. I can confirm that. We envy. All of us committed them at one point in life. Sure, all of us have. I agree with that. I believe in higher power, but I don't understand why some dumb guy in a robe knows more than I do about things than others can know about. A dumb guy in a robe. Sean, what does the guy's dress have to do with anything in regard to what he can tell you about life? It's just like, what are you talking about, little bro? And honestly, what do you know? What do you know about ultimate issues? Holy moly. Right. He should have been wearing a lab coat. Right. We evolved to want to live like all animals, no purpose required. Brilliant, Jason. How do you know that, Jason? How do you know that? Finn won't answer my question. What's your question? I miss it. I don't know anything, but what does he know? Well, he knows everything because he's God. So there's that. I have friends that believe in zombies and zombie apocalypse. This is really interesting. Ooh. Right. The dumb guy in the robe told you more truth than you've learned in your whole life. Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. God should wear a moth-eaten sweater and have 30 cats. What's your opinion on Biden so far? I mean, He's a corporate Democrat, and he's pretty much done what corporate Democrats do. He's already started the saber rattling, killing people over there in Iraq and Syria. I'm over it. What does he know other than, well, I don't know about the priest, bro. I don't know what church you're in. But why don't you just start with God and then deal with the priest later? If you think the priest is silly, then talk to God directly. Why is it some people don't believe in evolution? They don't have enough faith. Zombie. It takes a lot of faith to believe in evolution. Jesus was wrong because he wore a tunic. Mr. Vin, did you see my question? Ask it again, por favor. Yeah, Katya, tell those dead Syrians that corporate Democrats are better than Trump's fascism. Unbelievable. Secondly, guys, as we discussed in an earlier broadcast, the scientific endeavor, as you know it now, was brought to you by Christians and Muslims because they assumed in an ordered universe, and because of that, they assumed that you could look under the hood at how the universe was created. Scientific endeavor was not begun by people who believed in a random, purposeless universe with no telos or direction. Those are just facts. Corporate Democrats and Republicans have similar ideals. Correct. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Science is proving consciousness, and so that there has to be a God. It's just not mainstream. I don't really play guitar. Assad is a murderer. So is Obama. So is Bush. So is Trump. And now so is Biden. They're all murderers. And if you think a Democratic murderer is a better murderer than a Syrian murderer, then okay. I think a murderer is a murderer. A war criminal is a war criminal. That's what I think. Syria opened fire on a U.S. military base in Iraq. Why would they do that? Why would a Hezbollah open fire on us in Iraq? Oh, that's right. They told us last year to get the hell out of their country, and we said, fuck you, we're staying. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We need to get out of Iraq. My friend just got shipped back to Afghanistan for no reason. Fuck Joe Biden. I'm not a fan at all. Yes, but Hezbollah also has militia in Syria and Iraq. And we were fighting alongside Hezbollah to get rid of ISIS. I know that personally for a fact. So, and then you had the other one, the Sayyid al-Shuhada was another group that we attacked a couple days ago, who are also fighting ISIS alongside of us, who also said, get out of our country. And we haven't, Katya. So that's why they shot at us. Now, Katya, you go into somebody's house, right? And they say, Katya, thank you for coming. Please leave. Please leave. And you say, fuck you, I'm staying here. So then somebody shoves you and then you kill their whole family. You're a bad person. So we're bad people for what we did to those people. Right. Right. What are we supposed to do? Leave Syria in shambles? Yes, we need to leave Iraq and we need to leave Afghanistan and we need to stop supporting Saudi Arabia in destroying those poor Yemeni people. That's what we should do. Holy moly. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. World Police. 7 dusted. I'm hearing. Did you know that? God help me. Katya, if you have friends and people that you love that keep getting sent overseas, you might have a different idea. And if you've ever seen the ramifications of a drone strike and what happens to the body of those individuals, and the fact that in a drone strike it is almost a 100% guarantee that you're taking out civvies, you may have a different idea. All of us can sit here comfortably, and no disrespect to you, Katya, because I don't know who you are. But no disrespect to you, Katya. But all of us are sitting here comfortable. It's 20 degrees outside right now. I'm in a climate controlled environment. I'm comfortable. I'm sitting in front of a camera with all my friends. And it's easy for you to say, yeah, let's go over there. Let's bomb the shit out of those people. They should have been shooting at us. You have no idea what those people have been through and the hell that we've brought all on these people. So I don't give a fuck. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck everybody that wants to take Americans, put them overseas, and kill innocent people. We got a friend in the channel that just came home from Afghanistan, thanks to Trump, that just got redeployed, thanks to Biden. So I don't want to hear it. I got people I love over there, man. Terrible situation. We're killing these people. And we're not doing it. We're not doing it for good reasons either. Do soldiers not have a right to defend themselves? Soldiers absolutely have a right to defend themselves. And the best way to defend yourself is not put yourself in a situation where you're going to get shot at. And when people tell you to leave their country, Katya, and you say, fuck you, I'm staying in your country, that tends to put you in a situation where dudes are going to shoot at you. People have a right to national sovereignty. People have a right to national sovereignty. They have a right to say, we don't want you here. We Americans, we just strut through the planet like we own the fucking globe. We do not own the globe. Let an Iraqi army contingency come to America and set up shop when you go to Walmart and see how long they last. This is just pure American bullshit exceptionalism where we just get to run around and do whatever we want. And what do you mean we can't pull out ASAP? Katya, we've been there for 20 years. There are kids in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Yemen right now who were born in this war who have no freaking clue about 9/11 or what happened. This is imperialism and empiricism. That's all this is. This has nothing to do with any moral, oh, we're staying in there. We don't want to pull out because we're going to destabilize the region. Bullshit. Why are we in Afghanistan? The Taliban is there, and they're going to be there when we leave. They're never going away. Holy shit. I love you to death, Katya. I don't know who you are. I love you to death, but this is bullshit. This is complete bullshit. And this is the same thing people were saying when we pulled out, when Trump tried to pull those people out of Syria. Oh my God, the Kurds are going to get genocided. All this bullshit. Oh, we can't pull out. Oh, we need to pull out, but not now. When? We've been there for 2 decades. When is the right time to pull out then? There's a government, a democratically elected government in Iraq. They told us they want us gone a year ago. We said, fuck you. And by the way, Katya, the person who said, no, we're not leaving was Donald Trump. So Joe Biden is continuing Donald Trump's foreign policy agenda for Iraq. I don't understand this. Doesn't make sense to me. Have you heard about Dr. Seuss being canceled? No, I haven't heard about Dr. Seuss being canceled because Dr. Seuss wasn't canceled. But Vin, doesn't the U.S. presence over there preserve your freedom via oil grab to fund Wall Street investments for all the American consumerism? Correct. 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 And rural juror, that's why I don't support it. It's completely immoral. And as a person who believes in national covenants, the blood is on our hands. The only reason we're still here is because war is big business. Correct. And I'm going to let you, Seven, talk about that from your perspective. It's not easy to fix. It's actually pretty easy to fix. You know, when we pulled out of Syria, Trump pulled those people out of Syria, there was a little skirmish between the Turks and the YPG, and then everything settled down. There was no mass genocide. There's no giant takeover of Turkey, of the land, etc. No, I'm not going to blame Russia because Russia is not a superpower. We're the superpower. We invaded Iraq for no reason. It was a complete lie. Everybody knows we invaded Iraq because of a lie. Afghanistan, I understand, but we murked bin Laden in 2012. Why are we still there? We're never, ever, 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 ever going to eliminate the Taliban. That's never going to happen. Unbelievable. So no, I'm not going to celebrate, and I'm not going to say that Biden is better than Trump when Biden is continuing Trump's bullshit policy in Iraq, and Trump continued Obama's bullshit policy in Iraq, and Obama continued Bush's bullshit policy in Iraq. All those people are dead. My tax dollars paid for the death of those people and the death of the countrymen that I love. So no, fuck all of them. Terrible stuff. No, no, Katya. We are not reaping what we're sowing. You have your head on your shoulders. I have my head on my shoulders. I'm not burying my sons. Those people are reaping what we have sown. Don't get this twisted. We're not reaping what we've sown. If we actually reaped what we sowed, then we would be burying our children who were having a wedding. We bombed the shit out of people during their weddings, Katya. No. We're not reaping what we're sowing. We're going over there, killing people, raping their resources, and we're benefiting from it. And we've been doing that. We are not reaping what we're sowing. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. You don't have to be a Christian to know that that's wrong. And this whole bullshit where we're going to excuse Biden because he's a Democrat and not Trump, sorry, that doesn't work. The kid getting his head blown off over there in Syria and Afghanistan doesn't give a fuck who sent it. We're killing people. This is the thing that blows my mind. Like I said, I love you to death. We're killing people who pose no harm to us whatsoever. And then we're sending good Americans who signed up in the military because they love our country and want to serve our country. Now we're putting these people in situations now where they got to say goodbye to their. You know what that's like to say goodbye to your kid and not know if you're going to come home. And now we want to play political game. Nah, we're not doing that. Fuck Joe Biden for that shit. Fuck him. I Why won't you say anything bad about Saudi Arabia? Here you go. Here's BC. Here's BC. 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 Listen closely. 20 minutes ago, BC, I said that we need to stop supporting the Saudis in killing the Yemeni people and that we need to impose sanctions on them. What do you mean, why won't I say anything bad about the Saudis? I love you, BC, but come on, bro. Pay attention. I don't know what going HC is, but I'm so sick and tired of people of a blue persuasion who have this anybody but Trump philosophy, which then goes to justify bullshit like what we just pulled on these Syrian people and these Iraqi people. I can't. It's we're human life is so cheap to Americans. And that's the main thing that really pisses me off is how cheap human life is to Americans. We can hear that we bomb the shit out of people and we can justify it and just move on with our lives. We just move on with our lives after we just bomb the shit out of people and kill them. And then you can say, oh, we didn't start the fire. What do you mean you didn't start the fire? Joe Biden didn't vote to invade Iraq? What are you talking about? And I don't care who started the fire. You know when you call the fire department, can you imagine calling the fire department and they're like, yo, there's some crazy fucking arsonist that just set fire to our building, bro. You got to come help us. And the fire department goes, well, I didn't start the fire, bro. And then instead of the fire department showing up and putting out the fire, they throw fucking kerosene into your house. And you go, what the fuck? You're the fire department. What are you doing? And they go, hey, we didn't start the fire. We didn't start the fire. Huh? You got the resources and the power to stop the fire, but you continue the fire and your justification is you didn't start the fire? Huh? What? Exactly, Intramorph. You can't, exactly. You can't call out your own side. We can't call out our own side. We got to stay true to the blue. So now Biden is in office and then charge you for adding the gas. Correct, JB, correct. So Biden is in office, right? So, and we're Democrats, so we got to stay loyal to Biden. And we can't say, and we got to remind everyone that Trump is the real bad guy. It's wrong. We're killing people. Why is this so hard to understand? We should not kill innocent people. And we're not over there for good reasons. Exactly, Mr. Powers. Shout out to David Powers, by the way. Shout out to the homie. Much love to the homie. This is a thing all through last year. That was pissing me off was the how good the media was at making Trump the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler, so that people were saying things like anybody but Trump, as if that was going to solve all of our problems. And then, God forbid, somebody like Tulsi Gabbard comes out and says, hey, maybe we should talk to the Syrians and come up with some way so that we're not going around in this endless war. And the silly CNN, MSNBC, oh my God, you're going to talk to a war criminal? Yes, it's called negotiation. That's why the Black Panthers were talking to the Klan. It's called negotiation. Holy moly. No, not poor Tulsi, Katya. Poor Syrian and Iraqi people who now have to bury their children. Poor them. Okay, all right, all right, all right. All right, Katya, I'm done. I'm done reasoning with you. I'm done reasoning with you. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, guys, but a lot of people like, oh, this triggers, that, da 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 da. The only thing that triggers me, honestly, and I have no problem saying it, is just how cheap other human beings are to Americans. Correct, David. She was the only one worth voting for in the last election cycle. Just how cheap human life is to Americans, man. I told my son, one of these drone reports came out. We killed those farmers over there in Afghanistan. We killed about 32 of them. And he busted out crying in the car. And he goes, we need to stop this. And he lost his mind. He was crying his eyes out on the car, on the car ride home. And I'm like, I said, never, 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 never lose that attitude, Johan. Never. Because Americans, we don't give a fuck, man. We're just gonna go through this country, man. We're just gonna kill these people. And Americans are gonna read about it and freaking change the channel and look to see who's gonna be in the Super Bowl, man. We just don't care, bro. Do you think we value human life lesser than other nations? Yes, I do. And I don't care about other nations. I live here. My tax dollars are going to kill innocent people. So I'm not going to do the what about, well, what about them? No. I'm an American. And when I pay taxes, it's going to aid and abet in the murdering of innocent people. And by proxy, I carry that blood on my hands. So I don't want to hear about any other country. We don't even care about our own countrymen's lives, so we can't expect us to care about the lives of people in other countries. That's correct. And Katya, that's the reason I'm done the conversation with you, because to you, you're talking about Santa Claus and all the rest of it. That's because you don't give a fuck about those people that died. Because you want to protect Joe Biden, and you can't countenance any criticism of Joe Biden. So you're going to go off and say all the bullshit you want in defense of Joe Biden. I'm done talking to you. I'm not talking about you, BC. What's up, Australia? It's true. True. Pro-life unless it's from another country or LGBT or poor or darker skin tones. It's correct. Abortion, death penalty, endless foreign wars, America has a culture of death. 100% true. 100% true. They are innocent in the judicial sense rule because God has given us the parameters of who is deserving of death in the human family and who isn't. And a kid in Syria trying to get some fruit from the local souk does not qualify. But I hear what you're saying. Would Tulsi have a chance as an independent third party? It depends. If progressives can figure out how to do what the Dems did. Was war ever about justice? Well, I think you can justify stopping a guy like Hitler, although you cannot justify the Dresden bombings. You can't do that. You can't justify the Dresden bombings, right? But you can justify saying a guy like Hitler, we need to stop. Yeah. Oh shoot, my man Ranter Matt's in the house. Ranter Matt in the house. Everybody. I'm not sure that we necessarily need third party bankrolled as much as it is organization. The corporate Democrats did an excellent job of organizing and being very strategic about how they engaged in these situations, and I think that that's the real issue. What is your background? You said Souk. I'm a kid from Jamaica. That's my background. Yeah, I agree. The electoral system. I mean, I don't think the electoral system is the problem. I think. What do you think of the Trinity? Are they three? Are the three autonomous beings, or are they just manifestation of one being? For some reason, I find this hard to understand. It's hard to understand because it's a great mystery. So the formulation of the Trinity, Khan, is one being of God, and within that one being are three persons: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So the distinction is made between being and personhood. I happen to stumble on some reports of white phosphorus being given to Israel by the U.S. to use in Palestinians. Do you know if it's true or not? I do not know if it's true, but it would not surprise me if it was. I'm starting to get the feeling that the sexual harassment allegations against Cuomo might be a smokescreen from Cuomo himself to try to change the media subject from the nursing home deaths. Or Matt, if you remember at the beginning stages of COVID, um, he was like the guy. I don't know if you guys remember that. People were talking about like sitting down Biden for Cuomo. So the media had kind of created Cuomo as like the anti-Trump. So I think what happened is, they created that, but then Biden got in, and then, the deaths happened. I agree. People are worried about the deaths, and so now they're focusing on the Me Too stuff. I agree. Yeah, yeah. And they were saying, I want Cuomo to be my daddy and all the rest of that nonsense. Uh, so, yeah. Oxtail soup. Yeah, Sori knows how to do oxtail. Oh, Hail Hydra! What's up? What's up, Hydra? Hey, Vin, I don't mean anything by this. Are you a vet? I'm a Gulf War disabled veteran human cell. What do you think about Greg Abbott opening Texas 100%? Shout out to Victor Hernandez. Shout out to Victor Hernandez. Much love, big homie, for your service. What do I think? Well, I don't think it's good that our president used the term Neanderthal to describe those people. Um, I think governors have an extremely difficult job in the current situation that we're in. I don't think there are any easy answers here. I've got a friend in the healthcare field, and she's bagging people up every day. I just really I do not know. I really really don't know. I don't know what I would do if I was in his situation, because again, um, people are dying because of the lockdowns. Domestic violence is up, alcoholism is up, drug use is up, suicides are up. So it's not as simple as saying, "Oh, look at these idiots." Like there are serious, and then there are economic issues that bleed into life issues. So I just think that those guys are being faced with an extremely decision to make, and I really truly don't know. I have no idea. Master of Puppets is 35 years old yesterday. Holy holy. Porn use is way up, causing a whole host of problems. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So closing things down is not like a cure-all solution. Do I believe in masks? Sure. Do I believe in distancing? Sure. But I mean, I still go to the gym. At some point, at some point, I'm like, yo, I got to get back out. I got to go to the gym, right? So the gym has been opened up, and we've been able to, whatever. But it's an extremely difficult situation. That's why Democrat or Republican, I think it's really terrible when these people try to politicize these deaths and blame Trump and blame Pelosi and blame Cuomo for all these things. Now, Cuomo not producing the numbers, terrible, horrible. But as far as I don't blame anybody, Democrat or Republican, for the deaths or anything like that. And I don't blame any Democrat or Republican for what's happened to the economy because of it. This is kind of like the modern plague, man, and we're trying to figure out how to do it the best way possible. But it's definitely very difficult, and it's just not something I think is an easy way to solve the problem. So, I mean, we're back. We're Monday morning quarterbacking at this point. So, there you go. I have no idea. I just don't know. that's my answer. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's the depression because there's lots of industries that are skyrocketing and doing great. Saludos. Metallica. American politics sucks. Yeah, I know. The worst thing they could do for America is to politicize COVID. I agree. It created a divide. Yeah, be careful, Vin. That's how my uncle got COVID at the gym because other people were sick or maybe not aware. Yeah. Amazon is doing really great, and exactly, Vic. Whatever is out of my hands, just give it to God, and whatever is in your hands, you give thanks for. Right? I'm with you. Yeah, we're doing pretty decent on Amazon right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. So yeah, I think the internet, blockchain. I'm not gonna say like they depression proof. I don't think it's possible to depression proof an economy, but I do think you can. I do think now we're in better shape than before. It's how my brother-in-law died. He got COVID from work. God, Jamie, I'm really sorry to hear that. That sucks. That really sucks.
Kill them. This is just in general, at least in Afghanistan. They only active duty. We shot missiles at people every fucking day. It was fucking insane.
So is this like a private company you're working with? How does it work now?
I had an allergic reaction to vaccines when I was 2, contracted encephalitis, was in hospitals for 6 weeks, will not take the new vaccine, but I do not advise people not to take it. Yeah, BC, you're on died. We had somebody in the channel. Hey, Rich Yonkers. Lost a good friend from COVID. we had somebody in the channel, and they were like comatose sick, and we lost contact with them because Sori used to talk to her over and over and over and over, talk to this guy over and over again. They developed a relationship that was really cool, and then we stopped hearing about him, and then somebody reached out to us and said, he's got COVID, he's in a coma, and so we wanted, we told when she was pregnant with Raisa, we told him before everybody, even our own family, because his cousin reached out to us. And she was like, "Hey, this is so and so. So and so has got COVID. He wanted you to know he's got COVID." And so we went. So she was going to visit him, and she's like, "Hey, Vin and Sori, they wanted you to know that, they're pregnant again." And he squeezed her hand and stuff. And, Sori was praying hardcore because she loved this dude. And he made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made it. Like, he got out of it, and it was like a really, really big celebration. And, because the guy was like comatose, like it was like a wrap for him. And then we were really happy. And then he messages us like 2 weeks after he gets out of the hospital. And the cousin that had delivered that message and was holding his hand and all that stuff and delivered the message to us, she died. She caught COVID and she died. It's tough, man. It's really, 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 really tough. And I don't know what the answers are. I also know a guy in my state who killed himself because the isolation just got to him. So it's just, I wish there could be some sacred things where Democrats and Republicans were like, man, let's work together and figure this shit out and not use everything as an opportunity to politicize shit. Because Biden and his crew and Trump and his crew and whatever, none of those people are in trouble. None of those people are dying. None of those people are dealing with suicidal ideation because they're whatever. It's regular people in the street and the ground level that are dealing with this shit. And it's just and it's all this. I'm gonna blame this guy. I'm gonna blame this one. Like I don't care, man. Like I don't believe that the Democrats or the Republicans hate America and want to destroy it and want people to die because of COVID and all the rest of it. Like there are serious issues, and I think I wish we could log in and really understand what the hell is going on, so and then here's sketch. Sounds anecdotal, emotional, and statistically insignificant. I'm sorry to hear it, but I want to live free. Well, go live free, man. Nobody's stopping you. Sketch. Go live free. All those people dying, man. I don't care about it. Just go live free, bro. What do you think about the Time Magazine article that talked about the shadow conspiracy that got Trump out of office and saved democracy? I haven't read it yet, so I'm not sure. What do you fear most in life? I think the biggest fear that I had years ago was not fulfilling, my purpose. I'm not going to get into it, but I had some serious health issues when I was very, very, very young, and I was supposed to die, and I recovered. And so ever since, I was a baby, there was this real, I don't want to say pressure, but it was just like, you're here for a reason. God put you here for a reason, blah, 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 blah. So it was that kind of thing, right? Whereas like, I don't want to disappoint my parents or God or whatever. And so that was that. But, last, I've done things that, it motivated me to be part of these groups and organizations and do things. And, I had to do things that nobody else could do. And I had to be a one percenter, and I had to go to all these hard things and do all these hard things so I could justify that, and did them. And I did them. And I've done some, impossible things. And so I think I was there. I was able to, kind of put that fear to rest. So now my biggest fear is something happening to my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I once I got rid of that whole thing, it was kind of like, not like Tom Brady, but like Tom Brady, like he's got this drive. He's won his 7th Super Bowl. His wife was like, "What else do you have to prove?" And he's already out there on the field, like throwing the, throwing the football, and because I don't think he knows what to do outside of that, right? And so for me, it's like, now that I kind of put that to the side and then began to focus on my family and my kids, then I've become, I've got a very obsessive personality. So like, I'm really obsessed now about, my kids and making sure that my kids are good. So yeah. Did I see Jimmy Dore eviscerate Cenk? It's a thing of beauty. Vin, you have changed my opinion in the last 2 years on American military supremacy. I used to think it was a necessity. I now see that I was wrong. Well, Glenn, I appreciate that, my guy. It's one of those things, right? We're all growing. We're all growing. If the three coexist within one, should someone pray to God as the unity of all three, or to either of the three hypostases? Well, usually the formulation is you pray to God the Father through the Son by the Spirit. So that's how you do it. Every time Cenk is defeated in a debate is amazing to watch. Well, Cenk, yeah, he got torn apart by Ben Shapiro. Here's the thing about debates. If you are on the wrong side, your chances of losing increase exponentially. So, like I had somebody yelled at me in a comment section one time. They were like, you brought this guy, because it was a debate on abortion, and the guy did horribly in the debate. And everybody was mad at me because, the guy did so horrible. And they're like, you handpicked this horrible guy. And I'm like, abortion is an indefensible thing to argue for. And so everybody who argues for it is going to look bad to a halfway competent individual. So I think that Cenk, when he went up against Shapiro, he just got slaughtered because he didn't do well. So there you go. I don't know if that means anything. Yeah, and on top of that, as Powers points out, he denies the Armenian genocide, which that's another one. How do you define by the Spirit? I define by the Spirit as in being conscious of your reliance on the Holy Spirit to help you to pray as you ought, as Romans 8 says. I'm 54, never been married, don't have any kids. My mom says it's a blessing. Bless you, Vin, and thanks for sharing. Night. Much love to you, homie. Tony, your mom is evil. Holy moly. They're called the Young Turks. What did you expect? Right. Right. Forgive her. Forgive her. Do you think there's a possibility of a civil war breaking out in our country? Do I think there's going to be Here's one of the differences between Trump and Biden that I will say. I don't think Trump understood. Let me say it this way. I think that Trump underestimated the degree to which he had violent elements in his camp. And because of that, I think that his rhetoric was so horrific. And if you see my previous videos, I'd always say I don't care what Trump says. I care what he does, right? And to a degree, I still believe that, but I don't think that I think he underestimated just how violent and how maniacal some of his base was. And from that perspective, I will say that Biden is preferable to Trump because he's not going to say things that inflame people and threaten people on Twitter. Although the Neanderthal thing, if he continues with that type of rhetoric, then I think we're going to have a different conversation. So hopefully, inshallah, a couple of Biden's folks will get around him and say, hey, listen, don't call these people Neanderthals. That's ridiculous. Don't do that. Okay, Sean, my man, listen. One more of those and you're out. Do you think people are getting tired of cancel culture? Yes, I do think people are getting tired of cancel culture. I also think that people are also getting tired of racism and misogyny. And so we've got to figure out how to balance the two. But yeah, I agree. I think people are getting tired of it. And again, it depends on how you defined what cancel culture actually is. When what he says is directly contradicts what the essence of the civil rights movement was about, demonizing BLM, day one, etc. Yeah. No, I agree. Obviously, as a lover of black people, I was not a fan of the way that Trump handled the BLM situation, or the George Floyd situation. I just don't think that. I don't think, when you're. No, I'm not talking about you, Overshadow. There's another Sean in here. Here's the thing about Trump. And, I've been in this situation where you're a person of influence and you don't really realize the degree to which people are willing to do things for you or on behalf of you or what they see you as. So I'm saying that as a person, maybe I'm projecting myself onto Trump. I just have a hard time believing that Trump is like, yeah, man, like I'm gonna say this shit and like people are gonna take to the streets and dudes are gonna start killing each other. They're gonna start shooting each other on camera. Rittenhouse and all these people. Have you made a statement on your thoughts of the firing of Gina Carson? Gina Carano? For the Instagram post, I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that she got fired because of that. I don't feel sorry for her. It's hard to feel. We have a phrase in this house: "There's no pity for winners," right? But I think it's absolutely crazy, and I thought it was a knee-jerk reaction, and I'm almost certain that Disney regrets the action, but it's too late now. Way too late now. I like Jake better than Anna Kasparian. He has some humility. She does not. She might be pretty, but that matters not when she comes off as ugly as she does sometimes. I mean, when you live with a person like Sori, I don't really think that she's very pretty. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really a fan of the. Have you forgiven your parents for anything? Yeah. My mom and I had one of those conversations. It was the last conversation I had with her, and God told me to have it, and He told me what to say, and she said what she had to say, and I hung up, and I knew that that was the last conversation I was going to have with my mom, and it was. So rest in peace to her. But yeah, man, it's part of life, I guess. Some things aren't funny, and I have a messed up sense of humor. Don't we all? It is heavy, but I'm glad I was able to, and you know, and I'm glad that it didn't catch me by surprise. When was the last time you ever went to Jamaica? Will you ever go back? I'm gonna take the kids there for sure. Johan wants to live in Jamaica. He wants to. His business model is he's gonna buy up a bunch of real estate there and using some American dollars. I heard that Jamaica has the best Chinese food. Jamaica, yeah, it's there. I never understood. Like I never really realized how weird it was. But yeah, I had Chinese friends. Like one of my best friends, I was like 3 or 4. One of my best friends was Asian. I don't even know if he was Chinese. Um. So yeah, I have no idea why. To be honest, I have no freaking clue why there's a Chinese contingent there. But there is, and they were pretty good at it. I'm not gonna lie. 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. Did you ever watch Abba and Preach? No. That was a good one, Dave. In Jamaica, all the chickens are jerks. Have you ever been to the UK? Yes. Yes, I have. How'd you do in prison? I actually was at a prison, but I wasn't doing any time at the prison. He knows exactly the power he holds when he tells someone that you can attack this protester and I'll help you out with legal fees. Oh yeah, no, that's NAQ. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. I still say though it's hard for me to believe that he knew to the extent to which these people would go. I'll say it that way. Have you played cricket? Yes, I have. Well, if you're worried about prison, Cameron, the best thing you can do is stay away from it. That'll help you. I think it's crazy to be so outspoken politically in Hollywood. Why would you want to alienate your audience? It's bad business sense. Well, Taffer, to be fair, if Gina Carano came out and said a whole bunch of left-wing shit, she'd still be working on The Mandalorian. So you can speak politically in our current seats in layman. You just can't speak the wrong politics. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And people are reacting against it, and rightly so. This is America. She's got an Instagram account. She should be able to speak her truth or whatever. She didn't threaten to kill anybody. She didn't threaten to murder everybody. She's a right winger, and they generally love Jews. Like, sorry, but that was just way overboard. Way overboard. Biden gets away with things Trump can never get away with. I agree. Vince, correct. Pedro Pascal compared Trump supporters to Nazis. He's fine. Gina compares the left to Nazis. She's gone. Yeah, and she didn't come out and say they were. She was just putting out a warning and saying we could get here. She didn't even say all the left are Nazis. So it was just terrible, 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 terrible. Terrible situation. Best Nas album. The one with one mic on it. If a leftist actress put the exact same thing, absolutely nothing would happen. Well, something would happen. She'd probably get a role on The Mandalorian if she put something out there like that. It's freedom for Disney Corp to fire Will. They do. They can fire whoever they want. They can do whatever they want. I'm just talking about the effect on the prevailing society and what that, how much you feel, and when I say you, I'm talking about all of us, how much you feel you have to contribute to trying to bring us all back together somehow and operate on common ground. I have very obviously very strong opinions about certain things. You guys saw about half an hour ago. But I'm not going to eliminate people from talking in our forums. I'm not going to say, "Oh, you have a political position I don't like," or "You even you're like I say all the time. I had a Nazi and he's gone now. You know, people got rid of him. I love the dude. I'm not a fan of silencing people who have ideas that we don't like. The guy, the guy was a Nazi. He was a self-conscious. He was a self-aware Nazi. And, we're able to talk and find common ground. He's still an image bearer of God. I don't believe in canceling people. So, everyone that cancels people are just people on Twitter with blue check marks. Maybe. Yeah, so, people, look, I'm sure it's an at-will employment over there at Disney. And they can do that if they'd like, but it's already backfiring. I'll tell you that. Love you, Rural Juror. Rural Juror, I'm serious. Send me an email. Me and you need to talk. We really, really do. And I'm not gonna put any pressure on you. I just want to talk to you face to face, like men, and have a discussion with you. That's all. You owe me that. Don't. Cancel culture kills the idea of redemption. That's my biggest problem, obviously, as a Christian, is like, so for example, Dr. Seuss, obviously racist, But later in his life, he supported the civil rights movement, and he actually apologized. Well, he didn't apologize, but he basically, Horton Hears a Who, I think, was a, I read in this article, basically like an atonement for what he did to the Japanese. And that's my problem. My problem is that it does not allow for people's evolution. If it wasn't for people on this forum, the shit I was saying 4 or 5 years ago, I don't necessarily agree with now. And I'm a small fry. Nobody's gonna cancel me, and I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, all of us have been like that. All of us, 5 years ago, we've all grown and evolved. Like, give people an opportunity to freaking, whatever. And then the other thing is, just because somebody holds a position you don't like doesn't mean they're a bad person. Like, it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. All right, let's see here. Z's reaching out to me. He does not deny the Armenian genocide. He wrote an ignorant op-ed on it based on his Turkish education a long time ago. He has since denounced his article and acknowledged, holy shit, he's acknowledged the genocide many times over. He deserves it. He's got his bad taste, but this is not one of them. Yeah, Z, put the link to the video about that. So if Cenk acknowledged the Armenian genocide, then we need to acknowledge that. As a Christian, do you view profanity as a sin? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think a lot of the New Testament ethic is based on a person's intentions. So I think that's where I am with it. All right, let's see here. Cenk Uygur recognizes the Armenian genocide. Okay, hold on, guys. I just want to put this video up real quick. Not necessarily to clear Cenk's name. I'm not a fan of Cenk. I don't like Cenk. But we did say that he denied the Armenian genocide. And so if he didn't, then we need to acknowledge that, right? So I just want to pull that up real quick and see. So give me 1 second, guys, because I think it's important, right? It's important. Like I said, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. But disliking a person and lying about a person, right, is not the same thing. Later, Overshadow Sean. Hold on. Let me here. Let's do it this way. All right. Let's see it, Cenk.
At an event on Friday night, and a progressive came up and asked me about the Armenian genocide. And so I want to take this moment to clarify a couple of things, because even when progressives are asking me, I realize that a lot of the stuff online has spread too far and is wildly inaccurate. So I wanted to address a bunch of things. Some things have some kernel of truth and others are wholly made up. I'm going to get back to the Armenian genocide in a second, because that actually has a kernel of truth. But I want to address what my real opinions are today. Now let's get to the Armenian genocide. So did I write things about that when I was younger? Yes. So that part is true. So I did deny it earlier. I wrote in a column when I was in college about that. And so obviously a long time ago. Well, what's my position? I think I've stated it clearly a number of times, but I'm going to state it one more time here, okay? The Armenian genocide happened. It existed. It's true. Okay. I don't know how I could be any clearer than that. So I know that some Turkish folks grew up believing in things that were taught to them, whether it was in Turkey or through other means. And I know because I lived that, right? I'm a Turkish American and I grew up believing the things that I was taught. Looking back on it, some of it is absolutely absurd. And there's Armenian genocide is an incredibly serious issue. I'm only saying this in the context of other things that I was taught in Turkey are now, you look back, are comical. So I remember that we were taught when I was in third grade, but apparently we had some history between first and third grade there. And I remember we were taught that the Turks had never lost a war other than World War I, because that one was a little hard to deny. And then later, when I read stuff about how Turks had lost many different wars, I was confused.
Okay, so it's clear there. It's clear there that he came out, said it. Armenian genocide happened. Did he change the name of the show? Nope. Do I like him? Nope. But he didn't deny the. If he denied the Armenian genocide in the past, that's fine. But he's since evolved his position, right? So you got to give the man credit for that. And by the way, say what you want. That's not easy to do. It's not easy to do. So, you know, and can we relate to a person who is being, you know, told over and over again a single narrative, over and over again, and then whatever. There's some white folks that go look at the comments of the Tom McDonald video. So look, man. Shout out to Cenk. Much respect to Cenk. That's a good thing that he did, and I heard that he's done it on a multitude of occasions. In my opinion, he only needs to do it once. I'm also not for the whole groveling thing. People don't need to grovel. If you make a mistake, say you made a mistake, like we made a mistake, right? We said he denied the Armenian genocide. Person could say, "Oh, Vin, you didn't say that." Well, I read it and I didn't contradict it, so we said we were incorrect. He has, okay. And you know what? Let me tell you what's going on with me, right? I don't like Cenk. I think he has horrible takes, and I think he's obnoxious and crazy, right? So I hear something negative about Cenk. I am more likely to believe something negative about a person I dislike than I am to believe something negative about a person that I love. So if somebody were to say Zonia was a racist, I'd say you're a damn liar even before I saw any evidence, because I've known Zonia for 2 years, right? If somebody showed me a video of Zonia saying racist shit, then blah, 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 me and her having a conversation on the side. My point is, we're more inclined to believe bad things about people we dislike, even if the facts are completely contradictory, and vice versa, right? So all I'm saying is it's a good object lesson for all of us to go, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. You know? So good. Shout out to Cenk. That's good. Yep. Yeah. And anytime we hear allegations, you know, against people we don't like, we're obviously more inclined to believe them. Right? Nothing to apologize for, sir. Nothing to apologize for. So I think that was really big of Cenk. Now I don't know much of Turkish culture, so I can't say, but it seems to me that there is a hell of a lot of pressure to deny that. Remember, Bush wouldn't come out and say it. Obama wouldn't say it. Obama kind of... So apparently there's hell of pressure to deny that. So for him to say that took a bunch of stones. You got to give it to him. You don't have to like him, but you got to give it to him. Because some really, really powerful people bitched out in that situation and didn't man up and didn't woman up, didn't stand up like grown women and say what needs to be said. And he did. So, hats off to Cenk. You got to respect that. You got to respect that. Isn't identity politics reprehensible? No, I don't think identity politics is reprehensible, and I don't think there's much difference between politics and identity politics. It's just politics. Elijah, we came here because someone said that Cenk is a Holocaust denier. And then you can get arrested in Turkey for saying that. Holy shit. Holy shit. So somebody said that Cenk. I'll just say me. I said that Cenk denied the Armenian genocide, and then Zonia came and corrected my error, and then I played the video where he came out and acknowledged the Armenian genocide, and so I was just bringing up my bad example to say, hey, this is something that all of us fall into, right? All of us fall into that impulse to believe something bad about people we don't like, and I don't like Cenk. So it was very easy. Oh yeah, I'm sure Cenk denied the Armenian genocide. Well, I was wrong. Well, he did deny it back in the day, but he's evolved his position, and he did a very brave thing. And apparently he's done it on more than one occasion, and people still are, touting that bullshit line that he hasn't denied it. So there are definitely a lot of Turks that were super nationalistic and refused to acknowledge the Armenian and Greek genocides. I have met plenty of these people, and it's crazy. Perk, what do you think about? Is it Cenk is a jerk, but that was cool of him to do? Yeah, you gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. Now, I just hope that he can figure out his wrong ideology on his other stuff too, and then we'll really be cooking. There'll be some hope for the world, inshallah. It's infuriating to know that Israel supplies Azerbaijan with weapons. Yeah, I had friends in Azerbaijan. Yeah, for sure. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. Well, Sean, there's a lot of disinformation and misinformation about what identity politics actually is and all the rest of it. Well, I'm not sure that politics suck. I think politics is the outworking of people trying to figure out what's best for the collective. And when you have people that have different understandings of what's best for the whole and different presuppositions and worldviews, you're going to get political discourse, and that's why democratic republics are so important. I don't think it sucks. I just think, the human family, we've got a long way to go. Guys, I'm from Turkey. I can guarantee you the racism problem in Turkey is about the damn populist government. They were made in an alliance with the Kurdish party like 6 or 7 years ago, and then they fucked up. Yeah, Elijah, I don't think that Turkey's a horrible, terrible, nasty, rotten place. Certainly Americans have no place to judge anybody at all for evil genocidal government. So much love, Vic. Again, thank you for your service, my guy. Glad to see you're back. Yeah, so I don't think that yeah. That's my take on it anyway. If you have always believed that everybody should play by the same rules and be judged by the same standards, that would have gotten you labeled a what? Radical 60 years ago, a liberal 30 years ago, and a racist today. That's pretty good, Robbie. Night, Katya. It was good jousting with you. Much love to you. Greetings. Guten Nacht. I don't know, Milan, did I pronounce that properly? Did I pronounce that properly? 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes till Vin is really, really gone. He'll be gone forever, 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 forever. What are your thoughts on China's current genocide? I think it's absolutely evil. And didn't you see my super chat, Vin? Sorry, Dave, I did not. What were you saying? Don't send another one. Just tell me what you were saying. Obviously, I think it's terrible, and it's exposing the hypocrisy of everybody from our current president to our previous president to LeBron James. But nobody's going to say anything because everybody's beholden to the dollar, and we know what that's about. Did you and Sori get my emails? Hold on, let me check. Because I don't want to answer the question dishonestly. Let me see here. I got your first email. I said, did you have a question? You responded back. Hold on. There it is. Nice to meet you too. Oh, okay. So, Jamie, I'm going to respond. I'm going to respond to that email in a day or two. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't read it. Well, I didn't read it out loud live. I said it's unfortunate that Biden signed an executive order to force public schools to allow people born male to compete with females in female sports. Oh, okay. So let me add that to the thing. I didn't know that he signed an executive. Did he sign an executive order to do that? Yeah, I think that that's in play. I really do. Because, Fallon Fox, she's competing not in the UFC. I'm pretty sure it's not the UFC. But she's currently broken two girls, their eye sockets. Like she cracked them. Like they broke them. And as I was saying, Amanda Nunes is the current champion in the UFC, and she's tough as hell, and she's known for having heavy hands. She's never broken anybody's eye sockets. So there needs to be a serious discussion about that. It really, really does. Who, Fallon Fox? Yeah, she did. I could show you right now. She absolutely did. So she did it in 2018, and she did it around 2012-ish. Jamie, here you go. Transgender MMA fighter breaks skull over a female opponent. That's just a fact. That actually happened. We can't deny that happened. We just got to have a conversation about how that works. Yeah, I mean, send an email about it. It's fine. I've been in combat sports all my life, boxing, taekwondo, etc., and that is a major issue. That's a major issue. So that's got to be. And this one right here, Outsports.com. Outsports.com is an LGBT friendly magazine here, and they talk about Fallon Fox here, and they talk about Suddenly, Fox's success and very present sport came anathema in the sport. Every punch was suddenly a punch to the guy of the sport. When she left an opponent with a broken eye socket, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that shit literally happened. Like, we can't deny that happened. That happened. How, and so that conversation has to be had. It's got to be had. You can't deny reality. That happened. And it happened twice. And that's extremely rare. Extremely rare. Especially in the women's divisions. I don't know how to solve that issue. But there's got to be a way for people to respect our LGBT friends while at the same time acknowledge that there's some ramifications. It's the same thing with the runners, right? These they were biological males. They were competing in the male side, and they transitioned, and then they went 1-2. Like, whoa, wait a second. Like, we got to think that through. Girl lost her scholarship. Yeah, Z, I'd love for you to be in a conversation. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to be like the, people always ask me, what about the black issue? Blah blah blah. So, I really really want to have that discussion. Well, trans men don't have the physical advantages over than vice versa, Jamie. I mean, you can transition as a male and try out for the NBA or the NFL. We haven't seen that because I think again that indicates that when you're talking about competing, a lot of these sports are based off of war. Right? Like that's a lot of these sports are designed to simulate war. So, capture the flag, soccer where there's a goal and there's land that you have to protect. Even when you listen to the titles of the position, this guy's a guard, this guy's a guard. They're militaristic they're militaristic terms. So a lot of these sports are designed to simulate war. So when you have two women, yes, she lost to a cis woman. Z, I get it, but if those two weren't there, she would have almost certainly had the scholarship, right? Let's just be real. So, yeah, it's a complex situation. I don't know if you remember this, Z, but I called you up, I want to say a year and a half ago. Maybe it's 2 years ago. Because there's this guy on YouTube, and he was being a real dick about it. And so I called you up. Well, she would have had second. I mean, that's clear. She would have had second. But I called you up because I didn't like the way the guy was having the conversation. But I didn't want to keep reaching out to you. Yeah, I didn't want to keep reaching out to you and make you my, trans whatever, right? So Tom McDonald said a couple things in his video and things like that. And then, of course, you had the, in my opinion, crazy discussion between Rand Paul and Miss Levine, which I thought was a disaster. So it is definitely a conversation that I want to have and that we need to have. But I also didn't want to just assume, oh yeah, I'll bring Zonia on. And obviously, Jamie, obviously you're definitely welcome as well. For sure. Yeah, phone a trans friend. Like being in Maine and being the accessible Negro in Maine. I'm like, I don't want to treat Zonia like that, but so I call them. So I'm like, yeah, this guy is freaking. Listen to this guy. But yeah, Z, I'd love for you to do your research, and you too, Jamie. I didn't know much about the topic of sports back then, but I have been reading over the last few weeks. Okay, cool. Cool. There's a reason people are split into weight classes and shit like that. Trans and cis are too different to compete fairly. I don't know. I mean, we might come to that conclusion. I'm not sure. But to me, after years of HRT, I know my own strength and muscle mass is shot. Yeah, JP, it might be one of those situations where we say you've got to have, X amount of years of therapy and reach this, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I know we're going to have to figure it out. I know that I don't like what happened to that girl in the race. I don't like that. I don't like what happened to that girl in the race where she lost her scholarship. I can't stand that. I also don't like how our country treats trans people. I don't like that. So we got to figure it out together. Maybe there are, and I'm ignorant, but things need time until we can have this conversation. Maybe. The modern conservative is engaged in one of man's oldest exercises of moral philosophy. That is, the search for superior moral justification for selfishness. Well, I would not pin that on the modern conservative. I just got done talking to a person who basically waved off all the deaths of people that we kill overseas by saying, well, it's better than Trump's fascism, or we didn't start the fire. So I wouldn't put that all on conservatives, but I will definitely say economically, conservatives are generally heartless when it comes to their capital and other people. Why are we even arguing about this stuff? It's a joke. Some people genuinely don't deserve an opinion. Well, we're talking about this stuff because we're human beings, and it's better to talk about it and try to understand each other than retreat to our various camps and then start shooting at each other. So I think talking to each other is better. It's true. It is extremely difficult to crack someone's skull with a punch, especially with gloves. That's extremely difficult. I don't expect the years of hormone treatment. I don't accept them more. If you are born male or female, that's what you are since the beginning of time. What do you mean you don't accept that? What we're talking about is what creates a fair baseline for competition in sports. Respectful conversation is always better. Correct. But we're so used to marginalizing trans people because, granted, they're a severe minority, that we don't feel the need to engage them respectfully. And I don't care how many people make up a given society or what the percentage is. Everybody ought to be able to have that dignity and common respect no matter what they are or whatever people think they are. That's my perspective. So that's kind of where I am with it. But that doesn't mean we agree on everything. It doesn't mean that, you just... It just means that we've got to take time and carefully try to figure this shit out. Diplomat is a person who can tell you to go to hell in such a way that you actually look forward to the trip. Robbie, you've got some pretty good one-liners, my guy. I gotta say, send me an email of that stuff. VinceSori@gmail.com. I respect the plan of God about male and female. I get it. I get it, Nahor. I get it. Believe me, I get it. The facts are, though, that we don't currently live in a theocracy. We live currently in a basically secular democracy. So having that as an assumption, what do we do with these folks? Are we just going to wipe them out, pretend they don't exist, or what? What are we going to do? LeBron James is not a top 5 all-time player. Yeah, he's not a top 5. He's a top 1. He's a top 1. He's numero uno. Wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Listen, no, Jordan was not better. It's very simple. It's very simple. Before MJ had a viable number 2, what did he do? Not a damn thing. I joined a gender discussion? Yikes. Of course he's better than Jordan and Kobe Bryant. What did Kobe do after Shaq and before Pau Gasol? What did Kobe do? Kobe couldn't even beat the Suns, for God's sake. Come on, y'all. Don't get all carried away here. Y'all are crazy. Economically, conservatives are the only ones who put forward policies that work. Well, holy shit, Bill. I didn't know that. What I do know is that we have 28 million people uninsured, and thousands of them die every year. So if you say that that's a working system, then okay, you're right. I guess. Holy moly. What did LeBron do before forming a super team in the weaker Eastern League? Well, what he did was he brought a team like the 07 Cleveland Cavs or the 06 Cleveland Cavs, who had no business being in the NBA Finals against the Spurs. Who was LeBron James's number 2 in Tremorth the first time he made it to the NBA Finals? LeBron single-handedly went up against the Detroit Pistons and scored the last 25 points for his team with no number 2, with no viable number 2. What happened to Michael Jordan when he went up against the Detroit Pistons with no viable number 2? That's right. He got his ass kicked every single time. And then when Scotty had a headache, Jordan couldn't win that game without him. LeBron carries teams to finals that have no business being in the finals. It's not even a question. Yeah, and it's the same thing people say about the AFC East. Is it that the division is weak, or is it that LeBron is so good that people can't deal with him? I don't know. The year that LeBron left the East, the Eastern Conference won the NBA title. I don't know if you remember that. The freaking Raptors beat the Warriors. And the Warriors had to construct a ridiculous Thanos-level Avengers-type team only because they could not deal with LeBron James. Like, let's not. This is not an. This is. You can't. This is not even an argument. I'm not sure what we mean when we're saying that, Clyde. That's part of the discussion. Look, I'm not going to get weird here. You guys can agree and disagree on the transept. That's great. We're just not going to insult. We're not going to insult anybody. We're not going after. But I'm not saying anybody's doing that. We're having a respectful discussion so far. Please keep it respectful, okay? Thank you. Yes, the East got better over time. What do you mean over time? It was the very next year. Intramorph, it was the very next year. It was the very next year. And why Intramorph have you not responded about how Jordan could not get past the Pistons without a number 2? LeBron went to the NBA Finals with Ziljunas Ilgauskas. Ilgauskas! Much love, JDP. You'll definitely be there for the what do you call it? The round table for sure. What did LeBron do before Bosh and Wade? I already told you, Bill. He went to the NBA Finals with Ziljunas Ilgauskas. I think he was 22. He scored the last 25 points against the Detroit Pistons, who were 2 years removed from winning the NBA title against Kobe and Shaq and Gary Payton and Karl Malone. That same team. Yeah. LeBron did that single-handedly. Single-handedly, he's the GOAT. Jason, nobody won an NBA title without a supporting cast. Jason, did Michael Jordan even make it? Somebody call me up right now. Who wants to get on camera? Intramorph, I want you to get on. I want you to get on with me right now, and we will have this debate, sir. I'm about to get you a link. Intramorph. And don't anybody jump on this link. Just Intramorph. Get on it, Intramorph, and let's have the discussion. Jump on. Vin, have you ever played golf? Yes. LeBron is the best ever for sure. He had Larry Hughes and Donyell Martian and Booby Gibson. All right. Larry Hughes. Let's see. Larry Hughes. Let's see who Larry Hughes. He had Larry Hughes. Let's see. Larry Hughes. Larry Hughes. How's everyone doing? Good. You're not set up for any video audio. Okay. Any Jordan apologist who wants to come on and have a nice debate about Jordan versus LeBron, get on camera. Come on. Have the courage of your convictions. Have the courage of your convictions. Jump on here and let's have the discussion. Don't be a punk. There is the link. If you feel you can argue that Michael Jordan is a GOAT over Bron, let's do it. Please pull up. Larry Hughes. Yeah, I know. He goes to 11 finals. He's bad. It's ridiculous. David, talking about God's design for men and women and talking about how to accommodate people in a secular democracy are not the same thing. Everybody knows what I've said about God's design in that regard. What we're talking about is how to comport ourselves in a secular democracy. Second best in my opinion after LeBron, I'll give it to Jordan. Sure. I'll give it to Jordan. But anybody who wants to argue that Michael Jordan is even in the stratosphere of LeBron James. Who did Michael Jordan beat? He struggled to beat Karl Malone and John Stockton. Come on. Karl Malone, okay, I'll give you. Karl Malone could play in any generation. Could John Stockton be a point guard today? Serious question. Does anybody think that John Stockton could be a point guard in today's NBA? Come on now. Right, David. So those are not the same issue. We're not dealing with the same issue when we're talking about our LGBT friends. We're not talking about our gay marriage is valid in the eyes of God. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about, okay, we live in a secular democracy. People are transitioning. Call it whatever you'd like. How do we treat them? That's the question. All right, so Robbie is going to explain to us how Jordan is better than LeBron. Robbie, are you there? Can anybody else hear Robbie? Robbie, get out of the green room, sir. So Robbie's up. This is great. We're almost there. I can't hear him. I can't see him either. Robbie, where you at, buddy? Let's see. No, that doesn't work. Where'd Robbie go? Robbie, where'd you go? Did he leave? Did Robbie leave? Hold on, let me see. Robbie left. Robbie's gone. Let's try again. Was LeBron on Pro Stars? No, he was not. Okay, I don't think a team today could blow out the Showtime Lakers. Okay? Okay, Middle Earth. Okay, get on Middle Earth and let's talk about Jordan versus LeBron. Okay? Let's do it. I just said, Saberwolves, John Stockton could not play in today's NBA. Right? John Stockton could not play in today's NBA. Karl Malone, I'll give you. Gary Payton, he wouldn't be good in today's NBA either. Like, none of these people are all-time players. Karl Malone, definitely an all-time player. Isaiah Thomas, all-time player. But Gary Payton is not an all-time player. As a guard today, no. John Stockton, come on, a joke. Where are these people? I mean, he could play today. You know who the glove would be today? Everybody jump on. You saw what Jordan did with the glove. He laughed at him. Okay, Hakeem is another one, but Jordan never beat Hakeem. Middle Earth, what team could John Stockton play on today? Please. The athleticism of the guards today? John Stockton could guard Steph Curry? What would Gary Payton would be Patrick Beverley today in today's NBA. Unbelievable. Oh, Bill, please come on, Bill. Let's have this conversation. Any team you think that that John Stockton would make the Warriors, the Steph Curry Warriors, the Klay Thompson Warriors, who would John Stockton take a starting position from? No, Intramorph. It's not because they're more athletic. Steph Curry is a complete game changer as far as basketball goes. He's great basketball. Could he make the Warriors? Who would John Stockton guard? You think John Stockton could guard Steph Curry? Who believes that? Here's David again. Jesus didn't adjust to the climate of his day. He said the truth and was crucified, and we should follow his footsteps and accept the ridicule of our culture as Christ did. David, nobody is denying that. I say all types of stuff about abortion and all the rest of it, and I've said what the Bible says about homosexuality. But you can't say that just because I disagree with you on how to handle transgender people, that somehow you're being this out Christian and that anybody who disagrees with you is afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. What I am afraid, I am afraid of people killing themselves. I'm afraid of that. And I'm afraid of thoughtless people causing harm to people I love because they don't want to think with any sort of nuance. If you've got LGBT people in your community, you can decide we can stone them to death. Or we could say, hey, let's do everything we possibly can to keep them alive as long as possible. So, David, you're also welcome to jump on and have a discussion if you'd like. Holy moly. There are lots of mismatches in any position in any era. That doesn't mean he couldn't hold his own overall today. I just want to know, who believes that John Stockton would be able to make the Warriors team right now? The Warriors. I think that Karl Malone could make any team in today's NBA. What's his face? Hakeem could make any team in today's NBA or the NBA in the past. John Stockton could be the water boy. Gary Payton would be Patrick Beverly. Maybe he could be a third string point guard in today's NBA. Maybe. But Jordan beating the Stockton and Malone is not as impressive to me as LeBron beating the Warriors, the 73-win Warriors. I'm talking to multiple people. You know that Bobby Fischer thing where he's playing chess with like 9 people? Stockton would kind of be like a Rondo. He doesn't have the athleticism. I mean, guys, come on. The only reason Stockton made it to the Dream Team was because of the beef between Jordan and Isaiah Thomas. Y'all know that? Please. LeBron beat way more difficult competition. Vin, do you like football, soccer? Have you seen Messi play? Yeah, I like Messi, but I like the other guy. What's the pretty guy? What's the pretty boy's name? Ronaldo. I like Ronaldo. That's my guy. Yeah, I mean... Then into football. Yeah, I mean, of course, he's playing with Karl Malone. Of course, he's going to be the all-time assist leader. I think that the assist leader thing is more of a credit to Karl Malone than it is to John Stockton. Right, Pistol Pete. Yeah, Pistol Pete. Yeah, could Pistol Pete play in today's NBA? I mean, Pistol Pete was a legend, but could Pistol Pete play in today's NBA, y'all? Come on now. Come on. That's correct. If J.R. Smith didn't have a stroke on the court in 2018, they would have won. And I don't know if you remember this, King, but there was also a charge call where Durant actually charged and they called it back. He got a little help from his friends. Okay, Middle Earth, he had steals. Good steals. Yeah, well, I mean, why not? Pistol Pete, he was a legend in his prime. So I guess he could play in today's NBA because John Stockton could play in today's NBA. Good night. Y'all are killing me. Please. I mean, the guy was he was also a very dirty. I mean, Stockton was called a dirty player in the 90s. He had to play dirty to deal with his lack of athleticism. What would he have done in today's NBA with all the rules and all? Come on, y'all. Please forgive me. I may or may not be drunk, but I love how open y'all are on views, and I want to thank y'all for both sharing like-minded beliefs. I appreciate you, buddy. No, I'll give you that. Middle Earth. He was a crafty thief. He was a good stealer. He was a good thief. But you know, I can't believe that we're even having this conversation. Like, he would be a third stringer. DJ, oh, what is your take? John Stockton, do you think John Stockton could play in today's NBA? Who would win between Jordan's best Bulls team and the best Hakeem Rockets team? I would give it to Jordan. Here's why I'd give it to Jordan. Because the Orlando Magic had the Rockets on the ropes in game 1. And then Nick Anderson missed those 4 free throws. And I think Michael Jordan will call up Bill and let's have the conversation. What do you mean most analysts wouldn't? What are you talking about? Hey, listen, get me one YouTube, get me one person that believes that John Stockton could hang in today's NBA. Get me one person who believes that John Stockton could play in today's NBA. Did Jordan ever beat the prime Celtics? Answer, no. No, he did not. Did Jordan ever beat the prime Lakers? No. No, they did not. As a matter of fact, what happened in game 2? They lost game 1, and then Phil Jackson made an adjustment in game 2. Do you know what that adjustment was? He took Jordan off of Magic and put Pippen on Magic because Jordan was getting exhausted having to have the hardest defensive assignment and still have the offensive output. Whereas LeBron always guards the most dangerous offensive player on the other side and yet still carries the load on the offensive side. LeBron had the most rebounds, the most assists, and the most points when they came back from 3-1 against the Warriors. End of story. End of story. Larry Bird. You trying to tell me that Jordan would have been able to deal with Larry Bird if he didn't break his back? Come on, guys. Come on now. Come on now. Y'all are out of your minds. You're on your DMX energy. Up in here, up in here. What do you mean we can't know that? Of course we can know that. That ball was clearly over the line. Of course I'm biased. Everybody's biased. And no, I'm not bending over backwards. I mean, I guess we could say Pistol Pete could last in today's NBA too because he was a legend in his time. Call up. Let's have the conversation. Did you know that no one thought to cut a hole in the apple basket to let the ball drop when basketball was originally invented? No, I did not know that. Yeah, and they lost that game, Saber Wolves. They lost that game. So look, if there's any takers, anybody that wants to argue that Jordan is better than LeBron, there you go. Take it. Take it. No, it's not recency bias. It's not recency bias. I know what happened when Jordan didn't have a legitimate number two. I know what happened when Phil Jackson realized that Jordan couldn't guard Magic Johnson for the entirety of the series. I also saw LeBron have the hardest defensive assignment and have to have the most rebounds, the most assists, and the most points on an average when he beat the Warriors coming back from 3-1. That's it. That's it. Game over. All-time starting five: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Bill Russell. I would put Scotty on there, but you already have LeBron. I'm going to have to put Steph on there. That's an undefeated season. What's up, Emmanuel Rivera? What happened when LeBron lost to Dallas? It was all in his head. And Pistol Pete. Yeah, right. Pistol Pete. Tim Duncan. Did I say LeBron? I said LeBron, Jordan, Hakeem. You only got 5 spots. No, I'm not going to do that. Wilt Chamberlain. No. I'm not going to give it to Wilt. He didn't have any competition, bro. He's kind of like Jordan, an overhyped guy who didn't have much competition. You get the link, you click on the link, and then you jump on it. And then it gets you on, you can get online, you get on the video, the whole 9 yards. I think Zion's good. I really do. I think if Zion starts playing some defense, Jerry West. Jerry West is a million times better than John Stockton. Is anybody going to argue that John Stockton is better than Jerry West? You'd put... All right, let me see again. Who would I put as my center? See, I got Hakeem. I got Hakeem as my center. Could you make an argument, though, that Dr. J... See, I saw Hakeem play. That's... My mom played netball in Jamaica, though. Dr. J. Isaac thinks Dr. J should be in the starting 5. Over Hakeem, I got Jordan, Bron, Steph, and then you got Shaq. Shaq, during those Lakers years, was the most dominant player in history. You did that? Yeah, I got to go with Shaq. No, I know, Tommy, that's the thing. It's between Wilt Chamberlain, Shaq, and Hakeem Olajuwon. See, I initially said Hakeem because I got traumatized by Hakeem when they swept my Magic. But that was before Shaq really became Shaq. Ah, man, that's such a hard decision. Yeah, Patrick Ewing never did it for me, man. He never won a ring. I can't go there with him. Damn. All right. I'm gonna stop being indecisive. Exactly. Could Bill Russell or Wilt really compete with the athletes of today? John Stockton cannot compete with the athletes of today. Ridiculous. All right. No, here's my final. Okay, Kareem with the skyhook. You're right, Brandon. See, I feel like Kareem would be able to compete today. And you know what? I think Kareem would dominate today because big men they're so busy trying to stretch the floor. That hook, man, it was unstoppable. But Shaq, don't you remember when Shaq was just flinging people all across the galaxy because he was so big? God, guys. All right, here's my final starting five. Okay? LeBron James, Michael Jordan. I'm going to... Penny Hardaway. Oh, my God. That was my guy. I loved Penny Hardaway. He's my favorite player of all time. You guys stop talking. Let me finish my top five. LeBron James. That's what I'm saying, DJ. What about Hakeem? No, I love Wilt Chamberlain. I'm saying this is my top five. You're right. All you had to do with it's true. The Hack a Shaq thing is true. That is true. I think I'm going to have to give Shaq a demerit for that. All right. This is my final top five. LeBron James, obviously, best basketball player in the world. Michael Jordan. I'm going to replace Magic Johnson with Kevin Durant. Because if you have LeBron, you already have Magic Johnson. So I'm replacing Magic Johnson with Kevin Durant. So it's LeBron, Michael, Durant, Steph Curry, and I got to have a center. I'm going to have to go. You know, I had it down pat. And then my mind was changed because it was a very, very, very solid argument. And I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna do it. Okay, here is the ultimate top five. LeBron James, best basketball player of all time. Michael Jordan, most competitive basketball player of all time. Michael Jordan is the Tom Brady of basketball. You got to give it to him. So, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. I'm replacing Magic with Kevin Durant because, like I said, if you have LeBron, you already have Magic. So, Kevin Durant. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in the world ever, and there'll never be another one like him. And at center, I have to replace my man Shaq. I have to replace my man Hakeem Olajuwon. And I have got to go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The skyhook was an indefensible shot. He was an indefensible shot. You've got to give it to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the last spot on the roster. That's the best five you're ever going to get in basketball. You've got ridiculous defense except for Durant and Curry. But LeBron and Michael and Kareem can more than make up for those deficiencies. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Brady is the GOAT of all sports. Brady is the GOAT of all sports. Period. I don't want to hear it. He's the greatest sports player ever. Ever. That's not even a discussion. Brady's the greatest. Ever. Doesn't matter what the sport is. Brady's the greatest ever. It's not even... Yep, shout out to Drew Brees. Shout out to all those people. Tom Brady is the greatest athlete ever. Nope, even over Jesse Owens. Wayne Gretzky, nope. Nope. Federer, nope. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Period. Yeah, Intramorph. That's kind of what I did too with the meshing, right? Because you have to put Magic Johnson on there because he's probably like top 2, top 3. But when you have LeBron, you already have Magic Johnson. Okay, Bo Jackson or Dion, as far as like athleticism, I agree with that. Like, people have no idea what Bo Jackson was doing. The guy was superhuman. People take steroids to operate at 50% of the level of Bo Jackson. The guy was ridiculous. What do you say to people who don't have LeBron in their top 5? They're listening to Skip Bayless. That's all. That's all. It's ridiculous. I take Ali over Brady. No. Nope. Nope. No. No. Ali was great. Ali was great. It's not Tom Brady. What happened when Ali got old? What happened when Ali got old? Later, David. Pax Vobiscum. When Ali got old, that was the end of him. When Jordan got old, that was the end of him. This man is 43 years old. And he's giving it to Honey Badger. Giving it to Honey Badger. Nah, bro. Federer, no. No. We've never seen anything like Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a man apart. He is a man apart. Roger Federer is 39 years old. I want to see Roger Federer do this at 43. I want to see Roger Federer do this at 43. Yeah, Jerry, Bill Russell. I mean, who is he competing against, though? Who is he competing against? Do you think Bill Russell? You think those guys win 11 titles if the Warriors are if the 2015 Warriors are around? I don't think so. I don't know. Ali was great. Ali is great. He is great. Ali is great. Federer is great. I'm telling you, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady is the greatest winner in sports. The greatest. And if it wasn't for that evil bastard over there named Eli Manning and the stupid helmet catch, we would have had a perfect season. No, he's not. Ric Flair has won 9 championships. What was the best team that the Patriots beat? What do you mean? The greatest show on turf? They had Eric Dickerson, the greatest running back of all time. What are you talking about? Yeah, man, I get it. Ali had his prime stolen from him. He came back and dominated. Yeah. But what happened when Ali got old? Do I think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer? I hate Eli Manning with a passion, bro. With a passion. I doubt Vin would give him time. Who? Who are we talking about here? King say something? Let me see what King said. What do you say, King? Where's King at? King, repeat what you said before. Who's the best coach? You know, last year I would have said Belichick, but I can't say that anymore. I mean, Marshall Falk. You're right. Best coach. Wayne Gretzky better than Brady? No. Brady's the greatest. And he's going to win next year. Show me a quarterback who just Red Auerbach. I'll give you that, bro. I'll give it to Red Auerbach. I will. See, here's what people don't understand about all this hand checking stuff. They're only focusing on the offense. DJ and the rest of you who keep saying LeBron wouldn't have done well doing, look at the rules are different. You know what that means? That means you have to expend more energy as a defender than you did in the 90s. In the 90s, you could hand check, you could put the elbow in there, you could flagrant people, it wouldn't get called, so you could actually cheat on defense. Whereas now, you have to be more finessed and you have to expend more energy. If you've ever been on the basketball court, what do you start doing when you're tired? You start putting your hands all over people. You can't do that in today's NBA. So that means a defensive, well, get on, DJ. Finally, somebody with some integrity. DJ, get on. I will put you on. And I like Ronaldo. The pretty guy. There you go. Click on that link, DJ, and then you can get on and we can talk about it. But the hand checking actually makes it so that the offensive player has the advantage, and you have to expend more energy on a defense. Slater has 11 world titles in surfing, still with 48-year-olds, one of the best. Yeah, I get it. I don't really know much about surfing, so I can't call it. I really can't call it that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But Messi or Ronaldo? Ronaldo. And honestly, you're talking to a dude who doesn't know a damn thing about soccer, to be honest with you. I don't know anything about soccer. Not at all. Who's your favorite NBA coach, and what do you think about Phil Jackson? I think Phil Jackson... You know, I'll say this. I got way more respect for Phil Jackson after watching the Jordan documentary. I'll give you that. Do I think the Cowboys will get to another Super Bowl? Kai, you're right. It might be silly. Do I think the Cowboys? I'll tell you what. Once Brady, if I think in 3 years, I think Brady wants to do a three-peat. I think he wants to three-peat, and inshallah he'll quit for the sake of his marriage and his children. Good night. I think after he gets a three-peat, which is something nobody in the NFL has ever done, I believe he's definitely winning next year. He's definitely going to win next year. They're going to get O.J. Mayo back. That Tyler Johnson kid is a badass waiting to happen. I think, we might franchise Godwin for a year. We're definitely winning next year. There was no flopping in the 90s. That's true. So I think if Russell Wilson, if he gets that trade, and Russell Wilson gets to the team, I think after Brady retires that the Dallas Cowboys have a shot. I think the Dallas Cowboys have a shot if once Brady retires. But they're an NFC team. There's no way they're going to the Super Bowl with Brady in the NFC. King, talk to him. Talk to him, King. Bill Russell played in the late 50s and 60s. He's got rings against people who have plumbing job on days off. Exactly. Stop it. Stop it. That nonsense. The same silly people talking to me about what's his face. What's his name? Who's the guy? What's his name? Mahomes' toe and the hurt offensive lineman sure did help Brady, and I agree with you on Brady. Well, yeah. I mean, look, the left, they lost. He lost the left and the right tackle. I mean, that's crazy. But I don't think the outcome of the game would have been any different. That game plan was perfect. You rush 4, and you make sure that Tyreek has 2.5 people on him at all time. So that's how you do it. You guys need to do more Tool. I agree. LeBron got bailed out by he got bailed out by Kyrie and Ray Allen. Ridiculous! Did Jordan get bailed out by Paxton? Did he get bailed out by Kerr? Terrible argument. Deflategate. Ridiculous argument. Greatest of all time. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. That's it. End of story. There's no discussion. He's the greatest sportsman ever. Yeah, it's like when people say Babe Ruth is the greatest baseball player. Correct. I struggle with getting enough sleep. Please do more Tool, Vin. Okay, like I said, Zonia, the last Tool record was a disaster. I don't know what the hell was going on. I tried to get into it. It was a disaster. It was terrible. It was a terrible record. It's terrible. And you know how I know it's terrible? I don't see any Tool coming up. Any of the what do you call it? I forgot the name of the record. But it doesn't even come up in my No. Tool. Yeah, I know. You were insulting Tool. You were saying, no, I'm agreeing with you. It's the last record, man, was just boring as hell. It was just boring, bro. It was just very, very, very disappointing. And I know you're not supposed to say that. Numa was great. Numa was good. But Numa's a good song for any band, but it's kind of like a 5.5 for Tool. Fear Inoculum, I think, is just sorry. And it was like a 13-year wait or something like that, and then very disappointing. Very disappointing. That Aesop Rock guy, though, I really, really like him. I hope we have more songs from him. Your Tool fans just can't believe that somebody doesn't like the. It's Brian. I tried over and over again to listen to Tool and get it. I just couldn't. I couldn't. Yes, Neil. Almost every song sounded the same. Yes. Ugh. Holy shit, Saliva's coming back. Click, click, boom, Saliva. Holy shit. You lost a subscriber. I'm sorry, Robert. I'm sorry. But that Fear Inoculum record, man, I don't know what they were trying to do, bro, but I'm sorry. It just, for Tool, for what I was expecting, man, I'm sorry. No. No. And I love Tool, man. Like I said, Lateralis, I think, is the most important records of all time. Like I think Lateralis is just. I said it's the most ambitious record I've ever heard in my entire life, and I've only been, I've been around for 30 spins, but it's not, not saying much. But so I have no issue with Tool. I wanted to love the record, but holy shit, the record was terrible. Packers won 5 straight championships. Only the last 2 were called Super Bowls. Okay, all right, okay, Dustin, I see that. But since the Super Bowl era, nobody's done it. I'll give you that. Hence why the trophy is called the Lombardi Trophy. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon is we did Dark Side of the Moon. We did the whole thing. All right, guys. I think I gave you guys a good 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go and watch some TV now. Much love to everybody. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I have not listened to Thorn Within by Metallica yet. Holy shit, we're going on 4 hours. That's terrible. I mean, well, not necessarily terrible, but thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. It's a good time. All the rest of you people who said that Jordan was better than LeBron, I'm going to pray for you guys. You have my prayers. Shout out every single day. I'm going to sign off by saying shout out to Amy Lee Forever for suggesting this amazing app. Hey Kai, good night. I agree with you about Chris Godwin dropping them passes. Shout out to Amy Lee Forever for getting me this amazing app because it definitely changed the game for us for sure. Thank you for subscribing again. Everybody take care of each other. Do your best. People are having a hard time, man, with this staying inside stuff. So try to be as nice as you possibly can to people. Hopefully, I'm going to try to do as many streams as I possibly can. So that, we can all do our part. And it's not just me doing it for you guys. It's all of us together, right? So shout out to everybody. Much love to everybody. I got to get out of here. And I worship at the shrine of Amy Lee Forever because one for her, we'd be screwed. Vin out.